In the world of pawnbroking, there's one shop that likes to do things differently.
I'm just in love with it. You can have your 90 grand. Supercars, jewellery, watches, fine wines, art, almost anything of value. If it's expensive, we want it.
Some of the bags I have can be upwards of £20,000.
Based in well-heeled Surrey,
I think I've got a handbag fetish.
with a roster of asset-rich clients,
As a gift from Sheikh Fatima of Abu Dhabi.
desperate to get their hands on ready cash.
This is absolutely amazing.
Prestige pawnbrokers specialise in luxury goods.
What the hell is it?
But with huge loans
It's a Hovercraft and it belongs to James Bond.
come huge risks.
Moon rock. It's actually from the moon.
High tension
I can't even talk.
and difficult decisions for the team.
There's a market for it, but is it a market of people we want to find?
Welcome to the world of posh pawn. Across Britain, pawnbroking is a booming business.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
And based in Surrey's wealthy commuter belt,
Did you actually buy it from Chanel?
I can't even remember when I bought it.
this pawn shop deals with the exclusive top end of the market.
It's not unusual for us to examine a piece of jewellery that might be worth £1 million plus.
I've got something here that will knock you bandy.
Oh, wowzers.
You'd be looking for 100 grand for that.
We will loan against almost anything high-end as long as it's legal. You're looking for 1.75 million.
6 carats. Oh, my God.
The business was started by millionaire James Constantino in 2009.
Some people haven't got a thing for money. I actually quite like it. It's not a dirty word. Obviously, I like nice things, so if you don't go to work, you don't get nice things. I'm a ducker and diver, really. High-end ducker and diver.
James spotted a gap in the market, delivering fast cash to his asset-rich neighbours.
The recession was hitting. All my chums had big houses, flash cars. None of them could get any money from the banks. I just thought, what a great opportunity.
The sort of clients we have are all high-end. They've got the cars, the houses, the art. But diamond rings don't buy groceries.
That is ginormous. I'm trying to get it off.
With a reputation for loaning against the weird and wonderful,
These 17th century executions acts.
I haven't got the handle, have you, my friend?
James needs a team just as diverse.
Am I swearing too much perfume?
Not enough, in my opinion. I think they've got quite a good sense of humour, the team.
You're such a dick.
I think it's key to have a sense of humour when you're working with people all day long. Do me a favour, put that other glove on and moonwalk out of this office.
This area of Surrey is known as Britain's Beverly Hills. It's the perfect place for a pawn shop that specialises in luxury goods.
Retail, how much?
I reckon about 81,000.
And with Surrey's glitterati on their doorstep,
I wonder if you can help me.
staff never know who'll come calling next.
OK, James. Yeah, thanks for your call. Well, that's good. We've got a guy called James. He's a footballer. He's got a business idea. He wants to get off the ground and he's coming in with some watches. He's got some Rolexes and some other bits.
Oh, that's good. You remember the rules about footballers coming here with stuff, didn't you?
What rules?
After
What, the offside rule?
No, I need to see them in their full kit. And I need to assess the legs
Oh, yeah.
before we can decide whether they are really a true footballer or not. Can he be wearing his kit and could he just nip in the back quickly and I'll just have a quick look?
You want him to nip in the back? You're a bit forward, ain't you? He's only popping in to do some watches.
That's disgraceful.
Last one. Control. Bring it in and out, Let's go.
The owner of the watches is 21-year-old James, who trained at Chelsea's elite football academy.
Back you go.
Always football.
There is a lot to sacrifice for the lifestyle you have, but it tends to be worth it when all you want to do is play football.
Signed for Chelsea at 8, which is really young. So I was there the whole way through the academy. I was always rated a very good player at the club, one of the elite ones. Kind of every young kid can go home and say, oh, I just had a training session, ate lunch next to Frank Lampard.
At 17, James was kept on by Chelsea and put on a salary of just over £70,000.
You live in your dream. What's better than waking up, having a nice cooked breakfast, kicking football around and being home at 1 o'clock, you know?
So obviously, as a young player, we're going shopping every day. We've got Emporio Armani here, which we bought on Bond Street. We've got this jumper from D&G, which is about £200, which obviously I got on Bond Street again. Once we got set a challenge in the summer to go home and learn how to skip whilst doing kick-ups. That was the only one that seemed to be able to do it. So I was 10 or 11. it's a nice memory of myself.
But just after signing his professional contract, disaster struck.
I snapped my knee at 17, my ACL, and then I fractured my back go-karting, obviously, on my 18th birthday, and then my calves finished me off when I was 20.
James's football career was over before it had really begun.
All I've known since I was little was football. It's obviously your dream, and it's something you love, you know? And when it goes, people... you just dedicate your whole life to something, you know? It's your whole childhood. You don't go to the parties. I can't even talk.
After years of operations and rehab, James is now focusing his energy on developing a high-tech business idea.
Hi.
The iPad you won on Click Praise. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
An interactive app for smartphones.
Thank you.
General public compete to complete my challenges, which are tasked. And they do this by taking photos and videos on their phone. First one to complete them all wins the prize. So it's a little race.
This is all my eggs in one basket. If this goes wrong, I'm in debt.
With everything invested in his business, James is turning to the pawn shop for the extra cash he needs to market his phone app.
These are the real deal. So I bought a couple of Rolexes when I was 18 off a friend. It's one of those things, a lot of footballers go and buy Rolexes. Ideally, I want to raise above 10 grand, you know, I want 10, 15,000 pounds. If I get more than that, happy days.
But will the pawn shop think James's watches are worth enough to fund the PR his business needs?
Hi guys, how are you?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, I'm good. I brought some watches in to get them valued, hopefully to look at selling them.
Is it James?
Yeah.
Hi, James. I spoke to you on the phone, didn't I?
Yeah, nice to meet you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's quite interesting when someone maybe famous walks in or someone that's a footballer. It just livens up the day.
What are you actually looking to get to, James?
I want between 10 and 15, you know, for all of them together.
OK. Well, the watches are lovely, so we'll do some work on them and we'll see how we get on.
Perfect.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, cheers. Appreciate it. Bye.
The pawn shop offers loans of 7 months against any item of value.
Hi, morning.
Pawnbroking is simple. People bring their items into us, we value them and offer them a loan based on those items' values.
So you're looking for a loan of £1,000?
You can redeem this any time in this 7-month period, pay what you owe, and that's it, you get your items back.
If you don't come back for your item, you will lose it, OK?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
40, 60...
We pride ourselves on being quick, and within half an hour you can be leaving with 100 grand.
Today, James has had an inquiry about a collection of vintage jewellery.
OK, Ryan, I'll wait to hear from you. Thank you, bye. Well, she sells, all right, she's got 2 bracelets and a diamond necklace, and she's going to come in next week. She's only local.
How much does she pay for them?
I didn't get that information over. I didn't want to put her under too much pressure. I think she was driving at the time, and as you know, driving and talking is very dangerous for a woman to do.
What do you mean for a woman to do?
At the same time.
At the same time as what?
Driving
You're
and trying to
commenting
talk.
on a woman doing more than one thing at a time, being a man. You're making that comment.
Do you want a cup of tea? Yes.
The owner of the jewellery is Rana, who lives in South London.
She's my other little baby. My passions are antiques and dogs. Dogs probably come ahead of everything else, actually. He's my soulmate. He's a complete and utter guard dog. If I was a burglar, I wouldn't come into this house with him around. I'd be petrified. I have 2 sons. My boys are my life. After my dogs.
Hello. Who's there? Who's there?
Son Andy is an entrepreneur. He employs his friend Jordan, supplying mobile corporate hospitality.
We thought we'd just come round and sort one of the bars out.
Yeah, go for it. Andrew has bars.
See, we're going to make that corner. There we are.
Which he's designed, and he rents them out to people.
All of these we make ourselves, mobile/portable bars. You can practically do a bar anywhere you want.
I went to a fair recently and he had a bar up.
I'll give that a wipe down there as well, so come on.
And I took pictures of it because and I actually put it on Facebook because I was so chuffed. Come on, Andy, Jordan, lunch is ready. Andy?
Yeah, I'll come in.
But like any new venture, Andy's company needs funds.
I need a bit of a cash injection. Ideally, I'd like between the £5,000 to £7,000 mark. The more money I get injected into the business, the quicker I can grow.
Rana is keen to invest in her son's future.
Fritzy, you can't have any. He has the same ethos that I have. We're both workaholics. I don't think he's ever taken a day off sick in his life. Yeah, very proud of him.
Cheers, Mum.
Pleasure. Come on, Fritzy, should we look at these? Come on.
To get the money Andy needs, Rana's approached the pawn shop about selling some treasured family heirlooms.
This piece here was my grandmother's. It's absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. The other things I've got are these here, which are 2 bracelets. These belong to my mother's mother, who I was very, very close to. They are just stunning. I could pawn them, but I'd rather just sell them and move forward in my life. If I got 30,000, that would be sufficient. I just would like to see him be successful. You never know, he might end up being a multimillionaire with it. In which case I will want a return.
Of course, it's not just the clientele and high-end jewels that make this pawn shop stand out from the crowd.
Good morning, Prestige.
We get offered some really unusual stuff, and some of it is quite ridiculous. But it is a little bit of a challenge, and I do thrive on that part of the business.
James has just received details of an unusual item that's going to be hard to resist.
Oh, look at this. Look, I own a genuine James Bond hovercraft that was built at Pinewood Studios for the Bond film, Die Another Day. You can see the demonstrations videos on YouTube, and he's put a little link. So let's have a little
brilliant.
Look. It's bloody mad. That's an incredible bit of kit.
Oh, I love them. I really want to go on that.
You can't have a go on it, Joe. It's not really for girls, that sort of thing.
Oh, what a ridiculous thing to say.
Once the initial excitement dies down on some of these unusual items, the second thought that comes into my mind is how the hell am I going to get rid of this?
This is no ordinary pawn shop.
What do you think of it?
Looks like a heap of junk to me.
Based in affluent Surrey, it deals with big-ticket items.
So you could actually borrow anything up to 100,000.
Morning, ladies. How are you?
And very wealthy clients.
It's a really pretty-looking ring.
But now, boss James Constantino has plans to expand his pawnbroking empire.
It's really exciting times for the business at the moment. We're opening up a new store in Hatton Garden, and me and Joe will be going up there, and that will become the new headquarters for the business. There's a real buzz about this place.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good for us. We've got to refurbish the store, get it open on time, get all the phone lines put in, the security, everything. So it's a real stressful time for everyone involved.
In preparation for the big opening, James has also been looking at hiring new staff.
Really difficult to get people to come in here from a jewellery background and say, look, today you're going to be looking at a watch, tomorrow you might be looking at a submarine.
James's first recruit has been brought in to help run the Weybridge shop.
I'm quite a sort of relaxed character. I'm quite laid back. I like to have a laugh, but I'm also very professional in what I do.
There's just one problem. He's also called James.
J-Mo, we've decided to call him. It is J-Mo, isn't it?
It's Australian for James or Jamie, but it's going to be so confusing with 2 Jameses.
We thought of Janice, Janet.
And you're also known as Jimmy or Jim. He actually quite likes J-Mo.
Oh, I only asked you one question. He's a funny character, so he's a bit quirky, but we just liked him, didn't we, Joe? Just one word.
Yes.
Hi, I'm James. I'm first day in today.
OK, no second. Is it Jamo?
Yeah, J-Mo.
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 Oh, good. Bring him in.
It's James.
Oh, hi.
Hi,
Good morning,
how are you?
James. Nice
You
to
all
see
right?
you.
How you been?
Yeah, fantastic, yeah. My expertise is watches. With over 15 years' experience in the industry, watches is one of the sort of backbones of my knowledge.
And with that in mind, the boss is setting J-Mo his first test.
Got something for J-Mo here.
Oh, Panerai.
Appraising the watches brought in by former Chelsea footballer James, with a little addition.
This is a plant, and it's actually not genuine.
It's not a plant, it's a watch.
I decided to put a fake Chanel into the mix. It sounds a little bit mean, but I really did need to know if J-Mo knew his stuff.
That looks like shit. Little slippery boss.
Jamo, come down a minute, mate. I've just got something for you. How you been? You all right?
Yeah, I just saw some stuff upstairs, yeah.
Good, good. Well, look, we've got a client coming, lovely fella.
Oh, nice.
Used to play for Chelsea. He's got 4 watches there. And get back to me with some numbers, mate.
OK, no worries.
See you get on.
Cheers, thanks very much. OK.
Cheers.
Slippery, very slippery. I'm never trusting you again.
I think it's nice. It's nice to put people through their paces. And
I'm never trusting you again.
Can you value this bottle of wine for me?
Yes, I will. I'll get back to you, OK?
Cheers.
Loaning against luxury goods is how this pawn shop made its name, but it also regularly deals with an array of curiosities. Meet former glamour model Michelle.
Bo, can you bring the helium canister, please?
And her ex-military husband, Bo.
So, you going to earn your keep? That's what I like to see. Start them young. We've got 3 girls, Poppy, Petal and Pebbles. They're all flower babies. Our little rhyme always goes, the Poppy had the petal fell off onto the pebbles. It's always mad in our house. Our children are our life. From my upbringing, you know, we just learned at a very young age, whatever was best, it was all for the children. That's it, Pebbles, get her.
But this family home is not all that it seems.
Take you away to the dustbin.
It's a good talking point, you know, when people come to a party. That's the last thing you expect to see is a photo or a painting of Saddam. And it usually starts a conversation about a few things.
Maybe put him in the toilet to get other people wondering. See, I look at it and I think he just looks cheeky in that picture. His hair's all nicely cropped, not like your para haircut.
A former paratrooper, Bo went out to Baghdad, Iraq in 2004 to work as a private bodyguard.
It was parked up outside Presidential Palace and the place was being trashed. What was left of the palace was just a few old bits of furniture, paintings. This one caught my eye and I saved him from the ashes of a bonfire.
After years of shocking their friends and relatives, the couple now want to cash in on the painting to pay for a once-in-a-lifetime family holiday.
What do you think of my friend up there?
But they can't resist showing it off one last time.
A lot of people don't actually comment because they're quite shocked by it.
I'm speechless. It's nice.
Do they think we're followers, he's our friend? It's a mixed feeling. It's going very well. Pebbles is enjoying her party. People are enjoying Saddam Hussein. That's the main thing. It's all about Saddam. Say goodbye to Saddam. Everyone give him a wave.
All right, see you later. Ta-da.
Oh, we're just getting up, so...
No, I'm just making sure you leave without taking anything.
Today, Michelle is taking her painting to the pawn shop.
Hello, how are you?
On the front desk, Lawrence.
Well, I can go by that, it's not jewellery.
Yes, got a bit of an unusual oil painting.
Oh, right.
I was wondering if you could value for me.
Yeah, wait a minute, let's kind of look. Ooh, I get excited when I hear the word oil painting.
I think it's a little bit unusual. And
Ooh,
maybe...
I get worried when I hear unusual. Can we open it up?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, blimey. Oh, give me a heart attack, that did, for that face coming back. When I first saw the Saddam Hussein painting, I was just totally gobsmacked. In my opinion, Saddam Hussein has all the traits of Adolf Hitler. They're both dictators, both detestable people. Well, it is unusual. Obviously, as you know, the damage here, you've had faces damaged there, so that will affect the value.
Yeah.
It is unusual. At least we've got the artist's name down here,
it's
which
got
helps.
the signature, which is...
But value-wise, I've got no idea.
No.
It's the first Saddam Hussein that I've ever come across.
There's always a first.
See, there's always a first. But also my other concern is obviously the market for it. So have you got any idea what you're looking for?
To be honest, no. I think it would be nice to get it valued.
Yeah.
We all dream that it might be worth something, but to be honest, I don't have any
high expectations.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now is take it off you. Now, I need about a week, 10 days.
Yes.
And we'll try and get a value for you.
Look after him.
I will look after him for you.
Good.
Well, thanks for bringing it in.
OK, well, thank
I'll
you
be in
very
contact
much.
about 10 days.
Brilliant. I think he was quite shocked to see who it was.
I mean, pawnbroking is not about taking the moral high road. If an item's got value, we'll sell it. But at the end of the day, we have to think, is this the right or wrong thing to do?
It's either going to be worth next to nothing or go the other way, where it is worth a lot of money.
Whatever the item coming in, storage is something the pawn shop always has to take into consideration.
Sometimes when bigger pieces come through the door, the storage costs and transport costs outweigh the cost of the loan, so they really are not viable to do.
Everything the pawn shop takes in as collateral for loans is held off-site under lock and key. And when it comes to cars, that means James's garage holds over £2 million worth of Bentleys, Porsches and Ferraris. But the business is changing.
Hello, so how are you?
Most people, when they think of pawnbroking, think of loans, but over 35% of our business is buying and selling.
Are you looking to sell? You don't have any idea what you're looking for?
I haven't a clue, to be quite honest.
You've sold it before you'd even bought it, you had. That's what you're like.
James amazes me still at the items he can shift. I looked at them and think, no way, but James takes it as a personal challenge to sell them, and it still amazes me how he manages it.
But can James find a buyer for one of these?
Toss me one of those grenade pouches. Yeah. OK, that's great.
59-year-old John is the owner of a hovercraft which featured in the movie Die Another Day.
It's a James Bond vehicle. How many people can say they owned a James Bond vehicle?
My dad loves the hovercraft. It's like his second baby. It gets a bit embarrassing. Just when he brings it up randomly in a conversation.
These props I bought myself. They add to the kudos of the hovercraft. Also, I've added these 7.62 caliber machine gun bullets.
But John's preparing to part with his prized possession for the one thing he loves more, his 17-year-old daughter Zoe.
I wish to buy a car for my daughter. I'm looking for around about £14,000–15,000.
It's 6 p.m. and James is on his way to test drive the hovercraft. He's hoping the trial will help him sell it to potential buyers.
My gut feeling is this is really going to be a really, really tough thing to sell. All I know is when I get down there and I've had a little test drive of it, I'll be better placed, obviously, to be able to offer it to people that might be interested in such an item. There she is. I've got a bit of a smile on my face, actually. Thought of getting out on that hovercraft was really, really exciting for me, and I couldn't wait. Looks brilliant.
James gets most excited about anything that's got an engine that can roar and that's a boy's toy, basically.
I've been raring to go. I've been thinking about it. I think I even had a dream about it a couple of nights ago. So. When I first set off in the hovercraft, it was a crazy sensation.
Oh my God! Absolutely amazing. This is an incredible thing. Whiskey Frog didn't go quite as fast as this, did he? I heard he was a bit of a whiff.
After a couple of minutes, I was getting to enjoy it, and we were flying around that field. And suddenly, out of the blue, the engine cut. We got the AA coming out to us. Look, he's a reluctant mechanic, isn't he?
Well, thanks for your patience, James. I think it's whetted your appetite now.
But I haven't finished yet. I'm dying for some more. Can you actually believe this? I'm stuck in the field. It's freezing cold. The thing's clapped out. I will have no hope of finding a buyer for this if it doesn't go properly and it's on the button. And at the moment, it's far from on the button.
15 minutes of tinkering later, the hovercraft gets a second wind, and James gets to play Bond for himself.
Oh God. Oh yeah. Flying. Keep the power on.
The thing took a bit of time to get used to, but I think within a few minutes I got the hang of it.
Well done. Well done. Excellent, excellent. Power on, power on. I've got the power on, it's not just popping out.
Just as I was getting into it, the engines cut again and my heart sank.
After yet another breakdown, is there any way back for John?
When it was going, it was great, but it's got its problems and they need to be rectified. If at any point you get it sorted out, do get back to me because I'd love to show it to someone.
Yes.
And I think it's a saleable piece if it was running correctly.
Well, that's a fair comment.
If you manage to sort it out, John, I'll be happy to come back down and have a look at it.
I definitely think we can do that.
OK.
We know what the problem is now.
Thanks for
Thank
your
you very
time.
much. Thank you.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks.
All the best. Thank you.
Cheers. Today has been a major disappointment. At the end of the day, it's not possible for me to bring someone to the table because it doesn't bloody go very well, does it? It's got to be on the button and it's got to work every single time. It's got to be a great bit. Again, it's not.
In the UK today, pawnbroking is almost £1 billion industry.
It's probably worth more than my house.
You just buy Bentleys every now and again, do you?
And staff at Prestige are always on the lookout for high-end goods.
They're looking to sell them for 45,000.
Today, animal lover Rana's bringing in her vintage jewellery.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I've bought some jewellery, which is why I bought the guard dog.
Oh, my word. Wow, I better come out to you, hadn't I?
Yeah, might be an idea.
Crikey,
That's
this
why
is
I
nuts.
told you, that's why I've got him with me. How's that? It's quite something.
I'm speechless. I
It
mean,
belonged to my great-grandparents.
absolutely incredible. I'm just at the top. I mean, you couldn't get any better, really. We've got such a beautiful array of diamonds on this one.
It's very hard to get rid of.
Well, why do you want to get rid of it?
Purely because I don't wear it.
Yeah, I know.
And my son, let them have it now,
Yes.
you know, as opposed to when I'm dead.
So how much are you looking for?
If I can get 20,000 for it, I'll be over the moon.
I mean, this is not something you see every day. I'm sure James is going to be jumping up and down. Thank you so much for popping in.
It's a pleasure.
And we'll look after these.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And new boy JMO's not the only one excited by the pieces.
Josephine, have a look at that.
Wow-wee.
Did you like that?
Oh, my God.
No, don't touch it,
Oh,
Jo.
James, come on. Can I just get it a
Don't look
bit
with your
nearer?
hands, look with your eyes.
Each one is just really individually nice.
Don't touch it,
Oops,
please.
Daisy. This
Yeah.
one's really unusual. It's not modern looking.
It's vintage.
I just imagine someone like almost royalty wearing it.
Correct, I'm going to wear it later. This is going to be potentially a massive thing for us. You can imagine, like 150 years ago, the Queen going along in her carriage, giving it some of that, sporting that. I mean, that is a beautiful piece. It's unbelievable that it's come in and we've got it here in our little shop. It's amazing.
Despite being impressed, next morning James takes Rana's jewellery to a specialist valuer.
With these vintage pieces, we do like to do a lot of research on them. They're not easy by any means to value, and the market for them is smaller because there's not so many buyers for that type of stuff.
When it comes to assessing premium jewellery, James regularly turns to expert Ian.
Ian is a really unusual character. He's blinged up to the eyeballs, but he really does know his stuff.
James, hi.
How you doing?
How are you?
You all right?
Yes.
I'm back and I've got some goodies for you.
Oh, my Lord.
What do you think?
Very good. Oh, I like that.
Now, we looked at it and we saw that it was set in silver. Is that common?
Typical of the period, late Victorian.
So we're talking about 1890, something like that?
Yeah. You know, stones are pretty good colour. It's lovely.
OK, we've got a smaller one there. Still quite pretty.
Now, strangely enough, these stones aren't the same quality. It's very pretty. It's all original. That's fantastic. Absolute pure Art Deco.
Art Deco, so what, like the 20s, 30s, something like that?
Wonderful. Can you imagine that on my wrist?
It's exceptional, isn't it?
Wow. What quality. Look at that. When you look at how square and straight all the lines are, very typical of the Art Deco period, you know. Hardly been used. Look at that. Nice and firm.
Right.
Lovely.
What about the saleability?
Very saleable. Very, very saleable.
Fantastic. Ian, thank you very much, mate. I'm armed with knowledge. I shall get back to the client.
I'd love to know what happened.
Well, I will do. I'm sure. I shall keep you posted. Well, Rana's jewellery has been a real eye-opener. Some of those older pieces, you know, are not so easy to get rid of, but if we can find someone for it, then we can present Rana with some really nice figures.
In central London, former footballer James is meeting some digital experts to work on his phone app.
I'm James, nice to meet you.
How's it going, all right?
Hello.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
He's hoping 3 watches from his Chelsea days will help further his fledgling business.
I can see his history of all his entries.
Realistically, I want 10 grand, you know? I want 10 grand, and anything above that, I'd be really pleased. Anything below that, obviously, I'd be a bit devastated.
What he doesn't know is that pawn shop boss James has added a fake Chanel to his collection to test new boy J-Mo.
James can be quite mischievous at work, and I really did feel for J-Mo being put in that position.
Watches is kind of an area of my expertise. You know, anything with a sort of quality name like Rolex or Panerai is right up my street. This is slightly more unusual, I think. But actually, first glance at this one, I'm not too sure about it, actually. It's a bit light. This one's going to need a little bit more research because I'm not too au fait on the Chanel. And on the Panerai, the actual watch has got a scuff mark on it. Generally speaking, there shouldn't actually be a blemish on the glass.
How are you getting on, Jamie?
Oh, James, brilliant. I was just going to see you, actually.
Yeah?
I've got a couple of question marks I'm a bit concerned about.
What's that?
Well, the Rolexes are fine. They're all singing, all dancing, happy days. The Chanel I'm slightly concerned about. It just feels a bit strange. There's a couple of characteristics that I'm not too sure about, so we need to look into that. So maybe once we get a battery in there, we'll see if the movement's proper.
OK.
Because if it's a fake, it won't be a Swiss-made movement.
Spend your time, don't rush it. I don't want you to rush it. Just make sure you're happy with them.
No, I'm pretty cool on that, so we're cool.
All right,
OK?
nice. I mean, J-Mo, obviously, bless him, he's working away and he's spotted a little glitch, hasn't he? I can tell.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Nothing to do with the watches, though.
Silly Billy.
Joking aside, this is an important test for J-Mo. Buying counterfeit goods could cost the pawn shop dearly.
There is a risk with new staff. They're playing with my money and they're dealing with potential fakes. The worst thing that can happen to me is for them to do a dud deal.
Keen not to make a mistake, J-Mo's getting the watches checked over by specialist expert Nick.
Panerai's got a bit of an issue with its crown.
James's scratched Panerai is first to come under scrutiny.
A lot of the fakes, they forget to do black dates in the window. They tend to have white dates. So that's a telltale sign. And also the screws that hold the straps on, the fakes never fit very well. So you can see gaps in between the case and the screw. But what you need to look out for is like that high finish.
Yes.
It's all as it should be, really.
We've got this Chanel here.
OK. Normally with fakes, you can spot something that's a bit crap. Yeah, I mean, that is really crude engraving on there. Feels OK, but we'll have to look inside.
Look,
yeah. Ah.
Just what I thought. Japanese.
Yes. Non-Swiss. Yeah, Japanese movement. Not what you would be paying all the money for.
It's a good thing to get sorted because I don't want one of my first jobs to buy something that was fake. Wouldn't be very good, would it? Wouldn't be a good start, would it, Nick?
No.
The suspect watch, which I always had in the back of my mind, it being not correct, is very much not correct. So we're going to have to give it back to him and say, sorry, no deal. But obviously on the other ones, we can quote a price and we'll see what we can sort out. Thanks, Nick. Good
So, planted fake aside, footballer James's watches are genuine.
Thanks very much.
But will they make him the money he needs to fund his business? Time to report back to the boss.
Hi, guys. Hi. I've just got back from Nick. Got some goodies in here. Well, in fact, some things you've seen before anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It's those Rolexes and the... Now, we've got some good news and some slightly tricky news. Don't like ever to give bad news.
OK.
So, as we know, the Rolexes are spot on. We're happy days. Nick is fine with those. You know, I mentioned to you I was a bit concerned about the Chanel. It wasn't working.
Yes.
Well, it does turn out to be a fake. So my estimations were correct.
J-Mo, are you saying this isn't real?
Yes.
Well done. It's not.
Well done. How do you know that?
Well, because I bought it off a looky man in Marbella.
Oh my God.
I knew it'd come in handy one day, you see.
It's a
bloody good fake, isn't it?
It is, actually.
We just slipped it in.
Okay.
And we were really praying that you would actually see that. And we were laughing about it, and it's a bit of a crook trick, but I'm so glad you spotted it. I did feel a little bit bad about setting JMO up, but there was a genuine reason for this little prank.
Very cheeky manoeuvre by James to slip in a bit of a cowboy watch. But well spotted by me to find it.
Knowing that JMO had spotted that fake gave me a little bit more confidence in his ability. There's no doubt about it.
For the pawn shop, finding a buyer for designer watches is pretty straightforward, but a painting of a deposed dictator is a different story.
Isn't that one of the Marx brothers? Looks like Gaucho.
No, not Gaucho.
Are you sure?
I'm sure it's not Gaucho, Marx. I think it's something we've got to be worried about people's feelings, the clients we deal with.
Who would know whether that's worth anything? I mean,
well, what we need to know, first of all, is to look at the artist and obviously find that it is actually a painting.
It does look genuine.
Yeah, it's genuine. It's the problem is no provenance. And that's the issue.
It is odd, but there are a lot of people out there
Yeah.
that do find this sort of stuff interesting. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Well, if you can prove what it is, there's a market for it. But is that market people we want to find?
Well, look, I'll tell you what, before we dismiss it, do a bit of research. It's interesting anyway.
Yeah.
I'd like to know the value of it. We'll get to the bottom of that and find out.
OK.
I don't really know about that sort of stuff, and I don't know if we should really be getting involved with it. So you've got to question the moralities of actually making money out of stuff like that.
Before making a decision, Lawrence takes the painting of questionable origin to local art expert Ben.
Hi, Ben. How you doing?
Hi, Lawrence. How are you?
Oh, I'm enjoying the sun.
Good to see you again.
I know. I can guarantee you haven't seen anything like this. I just want to find out what we can about it.
My word. It's quite a crude painting. Probably painted from a photograph, I would say. It's definitely not printed. It's an original painting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to have a worth based on its artistic merit.
No, exactly.
If she can provide any evidence of
where it came
from, it could have a strong value to somebody who collects. There's lots of war memorabilia. It's a piece of history.
Yeah.
Imagine it came out of Iraq at some point. I can't imagine anybody faking this.
Exactly.
It's an interesting find.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Ben.
There's a strong market, particularly on the internet, and there's certain auction houses around the world that specialise in war memorabilia. So it would be quite a quick sale should they have the correct ownership documents and provenance.
Even if the painting is potentially valuable, will Lawrence and the team be able to find anyone who wants to buy it? It's the end of a busy month at the pawn shop.
You're doing nothing, basically.
I'm doing nothing. OK.
New boy JMO seems to be settling in well.
My first impressions of JMO was Bart Simpson hits 40. He's got a really wacky sense of humour and he's great fun.
I speak really loud. Hello.
I think you could say that sort of customer service is my middle name.
JMO's last challenge of the month is to give footballer James a price for his 3 watches.
These watches are well placed in the marketplace, and really they're highly recognised, highly sought after watches. They're very good quality brands. They relatively hold their value to a certain extent. It does depend on the model, obviously, on all these things, but for sure, the sort of Rolexes that we have here, the 2 Daytonas and the Panerai are proper top-end quality watches, well-established watches. Hopefully, when I quote some prices, he's going to be all right with it.
James is hoping to get at least £10,000 to help promote his new business.
Hopefully it's good news. Hello?
Oh, hi, is that James?
Yeah, it's James. Hi.
Hi, it's JMO from Prestige.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, yeah, good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you.
You've got some fabulous watches here. I mean, Rolex, for sure, a highly recognised watch. We always got to take into account, obviously, there is always going to be a slight decrease in value from once you purchased it. Really, if we were sort of thinking of buying them, the sort of area of sort of 18 to 19,000 approximately.
Fantastic.
It's the sort of area of figure that we're looking at.
I'm not sure what sort of thing you had in mind, but...
Yeah, so that's way more than I expected.
Yeah, way more than I expected.
Oh, way more? Oh, God, I probably quoted too much.
No, that's happy for me.
You can't take that back now. You've
said it.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, no, sure.
Perfect. I'm really happy about that. Really happy. So much more than I expected. Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, you too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.
Bye.
Oh, that went well. Brilliant. That'll keep James happy. That's a satisfied customer.
I think getting the money's tables are turning for me. You know, I had a really bad 3 or 4 years with my football. I think all I can do now is look forward and hopefully make the business a massive success, and the money that Prestige are offering me are going to obviously help that in so many ways.
Also waiting for news is Michelle, the owner of the painting of Saddam Hussein.
This has caused a lot of controversy. There's always a market for items like this. James and I have, discussed this on several occasions, and, we've come to a decision.
Petal, are you okay? Okay. I do think it's going to be interesting. They might have found some more information on it. We've had it for several years now, so if it is worth something, it's been sitting in a cupboard. Maybe why didn't we get rid of it before? Hello?
Hello, is that Michelle?
Oh, hello, Lawrence.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
All right, I've been on a couple of weeks for you, I should think, waiting to find out the result.
Yeah. How is the old chap?
Oh, he's fine. We've looked after him well for you, because I know you've got a great sentimental attachment. The problem we had initially was the provenance. I mean, provenance on paintings is the most important aspect of work. It gives you the paper trail, it's like the passport.
Yes.
The problem we got is, who do we sell it to?
Yes. It's a niche market, isn't it?
It's a very niche market. I mean, items like this, which are obviously basically war memorabilia, to the right person can be worth a lot of money, but then we've got to look at ourselves and see if these are sort of clients or people we want to be dealing with. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Because obviously we've got to look at the ethical side of it as well.
Yes.
Now, anyway, we've come to a final decision on it.
Okay.
We cannot value it without the provenance. So basically, it's not good news, I'm afraid. We will be returning Saddam for you to use at your barbecues.
Okay.
So unfortunately, we can't make an offer or a loan or to buy it from you. So sorry about that. I mean, so I hope you're not too disappointed, but those.
No, there's no disappointment. It's more sort of like to us as a giggle point. My husband and I have just had the debate whether it was the Ivy or McDonald's. Well, it looks obviously it's McDonald's tonight.
Don't think you've got enough money for McDonald's,
No, I
unfortunately.
don't. We have got McDonald's. Okay then.
Well, lovely speaking to you, and
Yeah,
thank
and
you for
you.
bringing your item in. Unfortunately,
Yeah, no
we couldn't help
worries.
you on this occasion.
Okay, well, thank you.
No worries. Look after yourself, Michelle.
Right, bye-bye.
Cheers,
Yeah,
bye-bye.
They can't really value it because of who he is.
It's too hot to handle.
So it looks like Saddam Hussein's going to stay with us for a little bit longer. I'll be glad to get him home. Bring him home.
At the end of the day, she's not a disappointed client. And in fact, I think she'll get more enjoyment out of it now, and then it has no value at all.
Boss James is making the trip into London to give animal lover Rana the news about her vintage jewellery.
I've got some really interesting news for her. She's got some amazing jewellery, and I think she's going to be highly delighted with the information we're going to give her.
Fritz, come. The minimum I'd like is about 20,000. I haven't got huge expectations. It could be worth £1 if it's paste. It could be worth whatever if it isn't paste.
Rana, hi.
Hello, James. Come on in.
How you doing?
Not too bad.
Good, good.
Too bad. Let's go through to the lounge.
Right. Well.
Right.
Look, let's get your bits and pieces out.
Right.
Well, look, we've done some work, as you know. I mean, this Art Deco bracelet is particularly nice. It's beautiful, and this would be a thing that we could sell almost straight away. And we've got clients looking for this type of jewellery. Right. We think that potentially there's quite a bit of money there. I don't know what it is you were looking for. I mean, I spoke to Lawrence, and a figure of 20 grand was...
Yeah, just 20. I mean, I have no idea what they're worth.
Basically, you've got in excess of £300,000 worth of jewellery here.
You're joking.
Or not, no. It's quite astounding.
Shit.
Yes.
Are you sure? 300,000?
Yeah, that's retail, so that's not what I'm suggesting that we can... If you wanted to sell these pieces today, through us, we could quite easily achieve £200,000 for the pieces.
I'm shocked, because I just thought it was about £20,000 worth. I mean, just unbelievable.
Yeah. I hope you're pleased with that.
I'm over the moon. Oh, thank you.
You seem pretty shocked, but...
I'm shocked. I'm just gobsmacked. Words fail me, and it takes a lot for words to fail me.
It was a
Wait
pleasure.
till my son finds out. You probably want all the money.
You might want a stiff drink this afternoon.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thank you.
Ah, it's a pleasure. Thank you ever so
Cheers,
much.
Mother.
See you later. Bye.
The question now is how much of her new windfall will Rana be passing on to son Andy for his business?
Good news, is it?
I don't know. Not sure. How much do you reckon?
Well, judging by the grin on your face, it's obviously a lot more than 10 grand. What's it worth then? Obviously, it's good.
300.
£300,000?
Retail.
That's a lot of cash.
I mean, it's just ridiculous amount of money.
She seemed to be truly in shock. I don't think it actually registered with her the true value. I'm sure it'll hit her in the coming hours, just the true value of those pieces.
The figure is just phenomenal. It is life-changing.
Next time on Posh Porn.
What the hell is it?
That's pretty spectacular.
I'm hoping I would gain 185,000.
We've done all that work.
Maybe she's changed her mind.
Prestige is not your average pawnbrokers.
Fantastic. More bags for Patrick.
Supercars, jewellery, watches, fine wines, art, almost anything of value. If it's expensive, we want it.
With Surrey's glitterati as clients, they specialise in the sparkling.
Oh, wow.
That is a piece, isn't it?
And the spectacular.
This is what it's all about.
This time, there's vintage motoring.
Jesus.
And celebrity bling.
There's about several 100,000 crystals on this entire piece.
What the hell is it?
But talk of termination troubles the team.
If I'm going to lose my job, I'll have to move on.
Welcome to the world of Posh Porn. As a profession, pawnbroking is almost as old as money itself.
This your nails?
Yeah. It's a present for my boyfriend.
In comparison, businessman James Constantino is a relative newcomer.
Could be in excess of 100 grand, easily.
But his high-end pawn shop has cornered a niche market.
We deal in these high-end assets that no other pawnbrokers will touch.
That's absolutely gorgeous.
We're taking anything high value as long as it's legal and not breathing.
We don't do live objects.
Oh, what a shame!
Pawnbroking is completely different to a bank.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
You don't need credit checks. As long as you bring an item that will cover your loan, you walk out with the money.
In the UK today, pawnbroking is gaining in popularity.
How much are you sort of looking to raise on it? As much as possible, really.
But with that comes more clients with unrealistic expectations.
I'm expecting hundreds.
They'd offer you 1,750.
Some of the clients don't realise the value of the item they've got.
We'd probably offer you about 1,500. Hello?
And like a new car, if you drive it out of a showroom, it diminishes in value.
Another client who needs a reality check.
It's Tuesday afternoon in Weybridge.
OK, we'll look forward to seeing it, but it sounds amazing.
And boss James is dealing with an inquiry from Newcastle.
It could be a good one.
What was that?
A woman called Helen is going to bring down some Stephen Webster jewellery.
All right.
Cost our ex-old man 185 grand. Bought it on a bit of a whim after going to one of his shows, so...
I'm just going to go and get my lunch and get myself an extra packet of crisps on a bit of a whim.
This is exactly the reason why we're here. I mean, we see watches and rings and all sorts on a daily basis, but when these bigger items come in, you know, for me, that's what it's all about, and we'll see if we can help her.
The jewellery belongs to divorcee mum of 3, Helen.
My favourite part of the house, I think, is probably the tower at the top there.
This is the family home set in over 20 acres of land.
There was 10 bedrooms in the house, vast amount of space, so we're very lucky, very fortunate. In here is Alexander's, my eldest son's bedroom, which is huge. That's the helicopter, which my ex-husband used to fly to work every day, backwards and forwards, and he used to land the helicopter just out here on the helipad at the bottom here.
But not anymore. The helicopter's gone and the house is on the market after her ex-husband's business went into administration.
The children and I are having to move out of the property. The house is having to be sold. Boys, are you ready now? I was going to gain a very large lump sum of money through the divorce. Right, guys, have we got everything? Yes. But unfortunately, I'm now left with absolutely nothing.
Helen now lives in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Things have changed considerably for me now. I have 4 jobs, juggling jobs, taking the children to and from school. There's never enough hours in the day for me, that's for sure. I have had it all, really. I've had the private jets, the helicopters, Ferraris, you name it. We used to have it.
But for Helen now, the priority is providing for her children's future.
They absolutely love the school, and it would absolutely break my heart if they had to come out of the private education.
With school fees costing in excess of £15,000 a year per child, Helen is in desperate need of extra funds.
My ex-husband bought this for me. We were invited to a private function which was held in a local hotel. He surprised me at the end of the evening and said that he'd bought it.
The diamond-encrusted necklace and earrings were designed by celebrity jeweller Stephen Webster.
He did pay for the necklace alone over £185,000. And honestly, I was just totally shocked. Couldn't believe it. And although it is very sentimental, the occasion was very special when I received it. But I do have priorities in life, and... Sorry, I forget myself again, I'm upset. I'm hoping that I would gain a minimum of what the purchase price was for the actual necklace alone. So anything in excess of that would be absolutely fantastic.
Jewellery and watches make up about half of the pawn shop's intake.
Look. That's a stunning piece.
Wow! But designer pieces like Helen's still make an impression on the team.
Wow, that is a piece, isn't it? God.
High-end jewellery probably is one of the most easy money spinners for us as a business, and we see a lot of those pieces coming through the door.
Very stunning piece of jewellery to show you.
Very stunning piece. Stephen Webster. Okay.
Yeah, you know him well.
Oh.
Look at these.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
That's pretty spectacular.
I'm not even going to try that on because I don't even think that'd get round my neck.
No.
No. No.
At first glance, Helen's designer jewels look like they could make the pawn shop's month.
The clients might think they've got the crown jewels, but at the end of the day, I must be able to sell those items on.
It does look gorgeous and it is really unusual.
Oh, I don't go on.
Staff at the pawn shop know all that glitters is not gold.
Oh, this is interesting, Monica. I think you'll like this. Is a bit of bling for you.
And it's not just jewellery that has the ability to dazzle.
This is a fully covered Swarovski crystal drum kit that was on the Carlywell Road tour.
Well, real one?
Yeah.
Like proper drums?
Yeah. Look at that, all the Swarovski crystals in that.
That is shiny.
That's amazing, isn't that? Right, hang on, we can go to the link here. There it is. Now look at that. That's fantastic, isn't it? Imagine that on stage. I haven't got much of a music background, but I used to have a studio years ago. If that gives me credit, yeah. Did you know?
No.
I had a recording studio for about 2 years.
Wow.
Lots of things I've done over the years.
Yeah.
I won't tell you about my other industry I worked into.
The crystal-covered drum kit belongs to Danish superstar music producer Morten.
A music producer is basically a person who put all the bits together, all the ingredients of the soup, if you like, and they take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and they mix it and they finish the soup and serve it. I work with Nelly, Rihanna, Pussycat Dolls, Cheryl Cole, Jennifer Lopez, Liberty X, Simply Red. It's been great fun.
The studio where Morten is currently recording also boasts stellar credentials.
The first album Adele ever did was recorded in this building. We got Duran Duran upstairs, we got Ben Hudson in today, Mark Ronson is coming in, we had Simple Minds in the other day. And there's lots of other up-and-coming producers, great producers here. There's a good creative hub here. That's how you create the best music.
She's really a sweet dog, but she lacks pool sticks.
But the community here is under threat.
A few months ago, we got notice that the owner of the building had sold it on to property developers. We probably got between 12 and 18 months, and by then the whole community could be all over. I want to save it. We want to stay.
To make his dream a reality, Morten is looking to sell another one of his creations.
This is a top-of-the-range DW fully crystallized drum kit. It was handmade, every single crystal put on individually. There's about several 100,000 crystals on this entire piece. There could be up to 1 million. This kit here was on tour with Kylie Minogue. It was on The X Factor. It was also featured in a video she did.
Now Morten hopes it will be instrumental in saving his music community.
Solution is to sell the drums. Ideally, we would like to have 100 grand in seed capital to set up a new label, set up a publishing company, sign some fresh young talent, and keep the community going.
So all the pawn shop has to do is find a buyer interested in £100,000 worth of musical bling. With more millionaires per capita than almost anywhere else in the UK, Weybridge is the perfect place for a pawn shop dealing in luxury goods.
You got the ring? But I bought it from the boutique in Harrods.
People here earn more than the rest of us, and as a result, their valuables tend to be more valuable.
James loves making money. It's what motivates him.
I've never heard of a Lamborghini for 2.2 million.
That is how he wants to spend his day, doing a deal and making some money.
Nice to see you. And you, cheers.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.
But for James, anything with an engine arouses more than professional curiosity.
Here, I'll get a sniff of this. I have a rare vintage car. One of only 3 produced with bespoke body, 1934, Armstrong Siddeley.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God, I'd rather that than a Ferrari any day. Love that. I think that's really gorgeous. I like them old-fashioned cars more than those supercars that you like. I even like the smell of the insides for some reason.
That is perverted. It's really easy to get overexcited about an item when it comes through the door.
Oh, my God, I love it.
And that can be dangerous. It can mar your judgment when it comes to the valuation.
Can I go and see it? I want to smell it. Oh, my God, I'd love that.
Welcome to Epping Forest and one of several homes of 51-year-old entrepreneur Lee.
We'll get all the oak cleaned up, get all this power washed off, get all these posts here sorted out. Maybe a little bit of painting.
77-year-old Fred is Lee's handyman. He built this £3 million house for him in 2006.
Actually, I bought him this little beaten-up old caravan that he had on site here and stayed in it while he was doing the work. Yeah.
200 quid, I think you paid for it.
£250 I paid for that caravan, actually,
Yeah,
and I sold it for a profit. I like to find projects and things that interests Fred and keep you busy, don't I?
Yeah, you certainly do. Oh, the old place looking nice inside, Lee.
I think it's important to keep Fred active because he's been active all his life. Yeah. There's a little bit up there that needs sorting out, look.
But their relationship isn't strictly business. Fred and Lee are father and son.
I'm the worker, he's the cashier.
And this classic car has been one of Fred's many projects.
It's a 1934 Armstrong Siddeley fixed head doctor's coupe with a dicky seat in the boot.
Look at that.
It would make a fantastic wedding car. Can you imagine the bride putting the leg up here and cocking the leg over there like that?
I could imagine it.
The vehicle was painstakingly restored by Fred over a period of 10 years.
That is a photograph of it in a derelict state. I finished the car in 1990 and I have not really used it ever since. I haven't done 50 miles in it in 34 years. Look, all them years.
Now Fred and Lee have decided to sell their pride and joy in order to fund Fred's latest project.
It's a 1959 Ford Escort estate. The money that we hope to get will help to restore this one.
Because of its rarity, it could be worth £100,000. It could be worth £10,000. We don't really know. The more we get, the bigger the slush fund, the more fun that Fred has.
More cars to buy.
Whether an item is vintage or a modern classic, the pawn shop puts it through the same rigorous checks.
Just because the client's telling you an item's worth a lot of money, you don't assume anything.
The item may come with provenance and valuation, but we've always got to start from scratch and really do our checks on the pieces.
With that in mind, today James is taking Helen's designer jewellery to his trusted diamond expert, Ian.
Ian.
Hello, James.
How are you doing?
How are you?
You all right? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
It's been a while.
It has. What's in here?
I've got some beautiful bits and pieces. This
Amazing.
is a
Wow.
Stephen Webster piece.
It's a good design.
It's unusual, isn't it?
It's different. The earrings, they're amazing.
Yeah.
It suits you.
Bit of me, you think, Ian?
Yeah. Just the earrings.
What, nothing else?
Nothing else. You can't fault the quality of the stones. I mean, the quality is superb, you know.
What's he saying? Platinum?
18 carat.
18 carat. I think she paid 185 grand for it, new. The necklace only, what do you think?
Stephen Webster, don't get me wrong, fantastic manufacturer, designer. The quality in it you cannot fault. Fabulous. But like anything with a name on it, his stuff doesn't go rocketing up.
Yeah, so what do you think?
It's a beautiful piece. Somebody who wants that sort of thing will buy it, you know.
So for the right money, we could find a buyer, but it'd have to be fairly competitive. Ian, it's been a pleasure.
Well, let's see you again.
Good to see you.
Drive carefully.
I'll be in touch.
Okay.
Cheers, Ian.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
The valuation has been mixed news for James.
Quality's there's no doubt about it. It's a very individual piece. It's going to be a difficult one to sell. I've got a feeling that Helen's got some numbers in her head that might not be that realistic in this current climate. The secondary market for those pieces is very limited.
Not all the pawn shop's clients phone or email ahead, which means staff can be caught off guard by items that turn up unannounced.
What on earth is this coming in? Nice pair of legs. What is it?
It's a statue of a T-600 from Terminator Salvation. Well, it's part of one anyway. This is the lower half.
When he walked in, I was absolutely stunned. I couldn't believe what he was bringing through the door.
The eyes light up.
Does that light up?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, so it does actually do something there.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not entirely useless. There we go.
Oh, there he is. He's back. Where did you get him from?
I won him on an online competition.
Are there other ones out there, though, of this?
I've never seen one anywhere.
So they're quite rare, then? Are you looking to sell it or just loan against it?
Sell it.
You want to sell it, do you?
Yeah, I'd love to keep it, but
Yeah.
I just don't have the room.
Cheers, thanks a lot. Cheers.
Yeah, hopefully, with all the contacts, I'll be able to find someone who wants it. Fingers crossed, we shall wait and see what happens.
Joe, do you want to come out and look at the new member of staff?
What the hell is it?
It's a Terminator,
Does
isn't
it do
it?
anything?
No.
Doesn't
Well, it
come
lights
out
up.
on me on Friday night then?
Well, it could protect you, couldn't it?
What's going on down here?
Well, that's his piston.
It looks very uncomfortable. 1 minute there's a watch or a ring, which we kind of expect. Next thing,
You've got
there's a
Terminator.
Terminator.
Yeah, it's brilliant though, isn't it?
presented.
With client Ed hoping for at least £1,500, Patrick has his work cut out.
Finding a buyer for a 7-foot Terminator is a real struggle.
It's midweek and James is dealing with another inquiry about diamonds.
Oh, lovely. Well, it may take 1 or 2 days to value it and we'll get back to you with an offer. We'll be down to see you. We'll give you a call within the next couple of days. OK, thank you, Doreen. Thanks, bye. That's Doreen. She's got some amazing jewellery. She's had them for 40 years, some of these rings. A massive ring of nearly 5 carats. It's the sort of thing could be worth £250,000, could be worth £1,000. She said...
She sounded really sweet.
Yeah.
She did have that nice old school sort of voice.
Well, a bit like mine.
Yours is definitely original, let's put it that way.
I've got a lovely old school sort of voice, haven't I?
Got a very original tone.
What do you mean?
It stays in one tone.
No, I don't.
No, don't.
Come on, Harley, let's check the post.
73-year-old Doreen is used to the finer things in life.
It was always my ambition to have a nice car. I mean, I'm a snob. I love being seen in a good car.
From humble beginnings, she's lived a life of luxury and glamour, working in the beauty industry where appearance is everything.
Inside, I still think of myself as being 21. I'm still wearing jeggings and fashion clothes. I don't think just because you're older you have to dress like a frump. This is the big boy. Do you want your din-dins, Smudge? Din-dins. Come on. In my life, I have been courted by a number of millionaires. There's Edward Kennedy, Fred Pontin, Billy Butlin, Robert Maxwell, just to name a few. I only went out really with men at the top. I never went out with an ordinary working class man, really.
But all that changed in her 50s when Doreen fell for her Spanish husband, Juan.
I didn't get married until I was 52. He was such a kind man, so easygoing, that I decided it was time.
After several years living the high life in Spain, Doreen and her husband settled just outside London, looking forward to a long retirement together.
There's a photo of us both only last year taken in Tenerife, you know, when he looked fit and well. Then they said he had a lung infection. He was in hospital at Christmas, and then in January he went into a hospice. He died the 16th of January. I never expected him to die. I really didn't. And it was such a shock. It was so unexpected, really. But life goes on, so they tell me. Come on, Harley.
In the months since her husband's death, Doreen's been rethinking her priorities and has decided to move nearer to her sister and niece.
He said it was his last wish to get yourself down to Kent to be with your family.
To help fund the big move, Doreen's now decided to sell some of her jewellery.
That one is a 1.5 carat diamond. I bought that from Harrods in Knightsbridge. This I had made, and it's 7 baguette diamonds. It was cut from one stone. This is a 4.4 carat diamond. That was a private sale. I bought off of somebody that I knew who had got it as a present from a very rich Arab. If I could raise about 30,000 with the rings, that would help me to get a really nice bungalow. I want to see my little niece grow up.
It's a new week at the pawn shop.
Good afternoon, Prestige.
And James has some news for Helen about an offer on her designer jewellery.
Gone through to answering machine again. I'll try her again later.
All right. Over the past few days, he's left messages for Helen and hasn't had a reply. But he's decided to call her one last time.
Helen, this is James here from Prestige. Can you please give me a call regarding your pieces of jewellery, please? I don't know what happened with Helen. Sometimes clients change their mind, but usually they let you know. It can be very frustrating as we spend a lot of time on some of those pieces.
Normally we get chased up, not having to chase them.
The offer we were able to present Helen with is probably disappointing. She had a figure of 185, which was roughly her purchase price for the item.
It's unusual for it to happen at this late stage. James is rightly peed off, you know, to have invested time, effort. It's cost the business money.
It's a dead duck, really, because there's no deal to be had, and I don't like not doing deals.
The timing couldn't be worse for James and Joe.
Hold on a minute. Hello?
With a new shop opening in London's Hatton Garden, every hour is precious.
So we're hoping to open it within 6 weeks. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes. It's all being rewired, stud work all in, so we'll see.
As operations manager, Joe is under pressure to find 5 new members of staff in under a month.
The whole point of that is please let me have some decent CVs on my desk.
But she's worried about whether she can work there herself.
James definitely hasn't understood how much I'm dreading changing where I work.
See you later.
See you, thank
Bye.
you. Cheers. When he's really listened, I think he'll realise that I'm serious.
Back at the office, Joe decides to deal with her concerns head-on.
First, I have to get myself to a train station, because it's not walking distance. Then I have to get myself on a train, get a ticket, get out, and then I've got to try and walk from there or go down into the sweaty tube.
Do you know what? I'm welling up.
You keep putting it off.
I'm tired.
And I'll be in there 3 months going to you, we're going to talk about my position and package.
You're not going to get anything out of me.
Joe is a very, very large part of the business and he needs to have her by his side, and that's just the way it is.
I want to work really hard for him, but I don't want to commute. If I'm going to lose my job over it, I'll have to give it a go. And if I can't, I'll have to move on and find him someone else.
So you're happy to sell these?
Yes, that's fine, yeah.
Being pawnbrokers to the elite can be a difficult job. With tough calls
Prestige.
and awkward moments.
It's fake, unfortunately.
Good grief.
But today, James and Joe have got that Friday feeling.
See ya. Won't want to be ya. Can't believe I'm allowed to come on this.
I can't believe it either.
Keen to keep Jo sweet, James has decided to give her a special treat. He's taking her to test drive the 1934 classic car he's been asked to try and sell.
It's really difficult with an item like a vintage car, especially like the Armstrong Siddeley. Finding a buyer for those pieces are almost impossible.
But owner Lee is hoping James can do just that. He wants £15,000 to fund his dad Fred's next project.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Hello,
Fred. All right?
How are you doing?
Good.
We'll get the car out and I'm sure you're going to be wowed over this one.
All right, then. Let's have a
Can't
look.
wait.
There she is.
Oh, my God. There it comes. Oh, my God. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, wow. Look at the inside. Oh, it's so nice. Look at all the wood panelling.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I'm going to have a little look at this bit. Oh! Even the wheels are amazing.
Yeah.
It's made beautifully. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I want to have a go. I want to have a go in it.
There you go, Joe. You'll be all right up there, won't you?
Oh, thanks,
Yeah,
Fred.
Joe.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
You can step on...
Don't start. Are they strong? Shall I take my shoes off?
No, you won't harm them.
All right.
Go on.
Go on,
Right, hold
in you
on.
get.
Oh, I say. Oh, my God, something went.
You driving, James?
I'd love to drive.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
is that
have to
all
put
right?
my
You
sunglasses
can,
on.
by all means. As soon as you drive away, flick it into second. And you change gear by dipping the clutch.
So I'll push it up first, then I'll dip the clutch.
Yeah. I hope you've got a long arm when we turn left.
Why?
It's got no signals.
James, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Promise?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just brake too quick.
Don't forget to release the air brake.
And watch where you're going. Don't keep looking round. Woohoo! Come on! Whee!
All right.
Here we go. Turning left.
Yeah, you do the hand signal.
This is absolutely amazing. I love classic cars, but this is the oldest thing I've ever been in, and it's a real task to drive it.
Left.
I've gone the wrong way.
Keep going round. Straight up.
No.
It is, I promise you. Are you trying to be in reverse? Oh, God, blimey. I don't think this suits you. Suits me. Toot these people! As far as I was concerned, I was on a sunny Sunday afternoon bouncing along country lanes, looking out for a good spot to go and have a picnic.
How are you doing?
Luckily for us, James didn't have the same mentality.
Jesus. I've got to find someone basically with 15 grand to spend on a classic car, which isn't easy in this market, being one of only 3 in the world. I mean, that's amazing. Not in the country, in the world. I'm sure there's going to be someone out there for this.
Armstrong Siddeley. What a lovely thing. He didn't crash it.
It felt good, actually. I've never driven anything quite this old.
It's not been used for 12 years. It needs using now.
That was good. You all right in the back
Oh,
there?
my God, I could stay here. I could literally let you do that all day long, round and round.
I think she's welded in that seat.
Am I going to get out? My bum's wet.
It's wet when you got in.
No, it's the plastic seats, and I've got a little slip-on under this. Ready?
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. This is a fantastic thing. It's been a great day out. Obviously, this is a rare thing, so it's going to need some work. And we'll make some calls and see if we can get it done for you. Cheers, Lee.
Yeah.
Cheers, Fred.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
And you, Fred,
And
thank
you.
you.
Bye, all
Nice
the
to
best.
meet you. But do you think I could maybe come on a few more of these gallivants?
Don't know. Depends how well you behave on the way back.
Selling specialist items such as classic cars can be hard work for the pawn shop.
We've got, Peter, a very rare Armstrong Siddeley, a multi-bodied car, one of only 3.
In contrast, jewellery is usually relatively easy money. Over at the Richmond branch, resident gem expert Kristin has been looking into Doreen's diamond rings.
I think we may struggle to get the 20,000 mark because the clarity is quite poor on the biggest one, which would have been where the most money was.
Widow Doreen's hoping the sale of her rings will help fund moving house.
She's just a nice wee old lady. It would be nice to be able to help her out.
Keen to get a second opinion, Kristin's heading back to diamond expert Ian.
Hello, Ian.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Mm.
So the first one is around 4.5 carats, just under.
That's a terrible stone.
Yeah, it actually is that bad, isn't it?
It is bad. If that was a really good
Yeah,
colour,
good quality.
50,000, whatever, you know.
And I think she just thinks massive carat weight because she bought it herself years ago.
The thing is, they go into a high street shop and they paid way over the top. And that is why when they come to pawn it,
Yeah, they expect the same price. I
yeah,
know.
and they don't get it. I always say to people, buy second hand.
I never buy brand new because I know.
Because you save a
yeah,
fortune.
Yeah. I'm hoping you're going to tell me some good news on this one. This one is 1.5 carat.
It's a pretty ring.
Yeah.
It's very saleable.
Yeah.
Lovely engagement ring for a
Yeah,
young girl.
Yeah, definitely.
Suits your
yeah, I
hand,
wouldn't
darling.
mind. Street swap. And last one, little platinum, half eternity.
It's a clean ring. It is platinum. 7 baguettes.
Yeah, it's
good
quite heavy.
quality.
Yeah.
Really chunky. Really nice.
Well, thanks very much.
Pleasure,
for
my
your
darling.
time.
Okay.
Nice to see you.
Take
care.
Take
All
care.
the best.
Okay.
Ian's evaluation has certainly given Kristin food for thought.
Sometimes clients buy watches and jewellery as an investment, but it's not always a good bet. You'd really have to know your stuff.
When people go and buy something retail, what they're paying for is the retailer's overheads, staffing costs, etc. But the reality of it is the real value of the item is a lot less.
With diamonds, the value is always based on the 4 C's: the colour, the clarity, the cut and the carat weight. It's not all about the size. It doesn't matter how big your rock is. If it's not a good quality stone, it's not worth much.
Valuing diamonds might be that straightforward, but there's no such formula for a crystal-covered drum kit.
We're finally going to get to see this amazing drum kit, so I'm really looking forward to that because, you know, it really is a piece of art. Morton's looking for 100,000. It's quite a lot of money for a drum kit. Most drum kits are only between 2,000 and 7,000. This is way, way above that.
Patrick!
You must be Morton.
Yes,
nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Finally, you get to see it.
Yes.
Wow.
There it is.
That's a bit understated, isn't it?
Just a bit.
My God. Well, I've seen the pictures of them, obviously, but when you actually see them in the lighting, it must have been amazing on tour. What are these made of then?
They're actually Siljan symbols, platinum coated.
Are they really? God. Well, that's actually a stunning piece, isn't it? How long did it take you to do it?
It took me 3 years to do, and I didn't eat. No, it didn't.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you're so slim.
Exactly. All in all, it was like 10 to 15 people over 3 months.
When this went on tour, did the management not want to buy the drum kit, or did you hire it, or what did you do?
I hired it to them.
So they just hired it,
At the time,
did
we
they?
didn't really want to sell it because we only made one.
Really impressive, yeah. Well, what I'll do, if it's OK with you, I'm going to have a really good look at it now. I've got an expert coming to look at it and value it as well.
Sounds good.
All right, great.
Thanks, Patrick. Good to meet you, yeah?
See you later.
See you later. Bye. I think Patrick was quite impressed with the craftsmanship. I think he loved it and he seemed very enthusiastic, so hopefully he'll sell it for me.
While Patrick starts his search for a buyer in earnest, James has finally got some news about the vintage Armstrong Siddeley for owners Lee and Fred.
Feel a little bit apprehensive, not knowing too much what to expect, really. I'm hoping it's going to be good news, so we'll wait and see.
Yes?
Hello?
Is Lee there, please?
Oh, speaking.
How are you, mate? It's James here.
Ah, James, hi.
Thanks for your patience. As you know, this car is extremely rare.
Yeah.
To find examples that are sold is nigh on impossible.
Yeah, I can understand that.
When I first spoke to you, you said you were looking for 15 grand. Would that be the bottom line on it?
I'd like a bit more than that.
Right.
Where did you get to the figure of
15 from?
I gave my dad 15 10 years ago, so I would like to have seen maybe a return on that investment. But I know it's very difficult. But how did you get on?
We spoke to
Bewley Museum. We spoke to a lot of people.
We searched high and low for a buyer, and
it wasn't an easy task
to get someone
to actually put their hands in their pocket.
From our investigation, people in the know felt that it was slightly underpowered, which made it not quite as
Desirable as some of the other cars.
But we did try private
Collectors as well.
We have got someone who
Would be interested in purchasing at 10 grand.
That's well below what we would accept for it.
Right, OK.
That's disappointing, really. It's certainly not strong enough for us to let it go.
Well, look, I'm sorry I
couldn't help you with it.
Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it?
Thanks for your efforts then, James. Cheers, Lee,
Yeah,
thank you.
bye now.
Cheers, mate, bye.
Well, that's really disappointing. The collector is prepared to pay £10,000, but they would struggle to pay any more.
You don't always get your money back. You know, you can throw thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of pounds at some of these classic cars, and very rarely will you get a return on your money.
It's a sad result, but
Well, you know,
we're not going to let it go just
No, I'd
for
rather
that,
sit
is
in
it?
the garage for another 50 years.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Prestige.
With a disappearing client and no sale on the classic car, it's been a difficult couple of months for the pawn shop.
He's just busy with a client at the moment. Can I take a message?
And the prospect of a long commute to the new London headquarters is still bothering Joe, despite James's offer of a pay rise.
Train times are frustrating. There is one that I will just miss every single day.
But anyway, generally, you're all right.
Are you? In time to get their train.
Joe.
15 minutes more.
Joe.
What about when the guys are really fully trained?
Joe.
What?
Generally, you're happy with the size of my package.
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
So you're on board?
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear, Joe. High five.
I'm not doing a high five.
What about a low five?
No, I'll shake your hand.
All right, so you're happy with it, yeah?
Yes, thank you.
All right, well, look, yeah, you've done the right thing and you should be very proud of yourself.
Oh, thank you very much.
See you later, I'm going back working.
That must have hurt.
James is not the only one with a bit of a headache. Patrick has been struggling to find the manufacturer of a 7-foot Terminator model.
Copyrighted to the Halcyon Company. It's got his height, which is 195 centimetres. Material is fiberglass. LED lights for his eyes. It's not available anymore. So that might add some more interest to it and obviously maybe increase the value as well. With memorabilia, it's all about the exclusivity of the item and what someone will pay for it. Do you know anyone around that actually deals in them or buys them? You don't?
I could hear Patrick doing his research.
Speaks the English?
And I actually sat there and thought, I've got a mate who might want that. Patrick, how are you doing with the Terminator?
We've had a few sort of potential offers, but nothing firm.
Right, well, I've actually got some good news. I've got an offer from someone. He's a cash buyer.
Oh, really? Good.
I've got in an email. I'm going to ping it over to you, give the client a call and put the offer to him and try and get the deal done, yeah?
Up in Yorkshire, waiting patiently for news, is the current owner of the Terminator, Ed.
Having not heard anything, I don't know if it's going to be good, if it's going to be bad. But if I can get somewhere round about 1,000, 1,500 for it, it'd be brilliant.
I wouldn't buy it. It's not my cup of tea.
It's a bit ugly.
It's a lot ugly, actually.
It's a funny thing to have sitting in a room, 7'2" or Terminator looking at you all day long. Well, I'm now going to ring the client and actually tell him, and hopefully he'll be happy with what we're going to offer him.
Hello?
Hello, is that Ed?
It is, yes.
Hi, Ed.
Patrick from Prestige.
How you doing? Yeah, fine, thanks.
I'm sorry I've been so long coming back to you on this one.
That's quite all right.
It's been very interesting, I have to say.
It's one of the funniest things I've had to deal with. She gave me the details of the Australian people, so I rang them.
And they've actually stopped production of it.
I then phoned the distributors in Germany.
They don't have the licence anymore. So
They don't make it anymore.
And then I got onto all the prop houses as well.
Right.
After all that, I can actually make you an offer.
For now.
Really?
What sort of figure are you looking for on this?
I was hoping for somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500.
What I can offer you... 2,500.
That's fantastic. I'm over the moon.
Well, that's really... that's about twice what I thought I'd be.
Oh, really?
Thank you very much indeed.
You're very welcome, mate. Good talking to you.
And
You too.
hopefully your wife's not too disappointed.
Wondered that it's leaving you.
I'm sure she'll get over it.
All right, take care. Ed.
Right.
Thank you.
Mate.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You know I wanted between 1,000 and 1,500?
Yes.
2.5 grand.
He was absolutely delighted, actually. He couldn't believe, actually, that we were offering him that sort of money.
I'm a bit shocked, if I'm honest. Yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon at that. It's a brilliant result. He's sat in his boxes without a complaint, and now it's made me a load of money. Job done.
Prestige.
Back at the pawn shop, Kristin's arranged to meet pensioner Doreen to give her a price for her diamond rings. But first, she needs to consult with boss James.
Hello.
Hi.
You alright? How you doing?
Yeah, good. You all right?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
How much does she think?
She's looking for 30,000.
She's talking in pounds or rupees.
Yeah, price. But
What
if
about
it
this
was a good stone,
If it was a nice
you
one,
would be
that's-
looking at 70, 100,000 maybe.
Yeah. All right then. So you're going to relay the news to her?
Yeah, but I was thinking you might help me.
You want me to do the dirty stuff to
No,
her?
but it'll be better coming from you.
Hello, Doreen.
Hello, James. Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you. Grab a seat.
Thank you very much.
Kristen has been looking after you, hopefully.
Yes, she has.
Doreen, why are you unloading all this stuff at the moment?
Well, really, because now my husband's died, I was thinking of moving to a smaller house. I would like to get a bungalow, probably down in Kent, where my family are. But I've been looking at a couple, but they're quite expensive.
It really makes me feel uncomfortable when I'm listening to someone tell me just how much they need the money.
Nervous.
Don't be nervous, no. So we had a closer look at them. I cleaned them and I had a look under the diamond light where you can see everything perfect inside it. The big one, I was pinning my hopes on a lot of money on this, because if this was a good quality stone because of the size of it.
Size. But it isn't, no?
It's not. That's the bad news, Dwayne. Yeah, the inclusions in it are bad and it's got a big fracture in the middle.
Is it?
Yeah.
Gosh.
And that devalues it quite a lot, though. That's disappointing.
Yeah, it's a shame for that one.
This was a nice wee one. 1.5 carat. That's a lot cleaner. That stone was a good stone. This one's also a nice wee ring. The diamonds in that are good quality too. So with this one, the offer is 3,000. The smaller one, again, 3,000 and 1,000 on the half eternity ring. In total, you're looking at 7,000 as an offer to buy all three. I know it's nowhere near what you were thinking.
No, I just thought it was worth more than that. Best let them go, I suppose. Yeah, I think I'd let them go.
You're going to let them go?
I think so.
I don't want you to feel pressured.
No,
in
not
any
at
way.
all. No pressure.
I have no children to pass them on to. If my niece had them, she'd only sell them anyway.
They're not sentimental at all.
No.
OK.
Sure.
Well, look,
Yep.
we'll get Lawrence or Kristen to write out the paperwork
Mhm.
and we can transfer funds into your
Straight
account
away.
straight away today. So that's really good.
That's good.
I'm sorry it's been disappointing to you and we'd have to relay that news to you because it's not an easy task by any means.
Never mind, never mind.
Oh.
Sorry.
Right, thanks for coming in, Doreen.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
to see you,
you.
and we'll get the money
Thank
over to
you.
you.
It's nice to see you again.
Cheers.
Goodbye. Bye. See you. £7,000 will go towards the expenses involved in buying the bungalow. So at least that's 7,000 more than what I had when I came.
It's really difficult, you know, when you've got a client here who believes her items are worth a lot more than they actually are worth, and to relay that news back to the client is always quite difficult, especially when they're so lovely like she is. That big stone, there's not really a market for it, so it's going to be even difficult to sell the money that we've offered.
Hoping for better news is music producer Morton. He's been looking to sell his crystal-covered drum kit to fund setting up a new record label.
It's going to be interesting to see what Patrick has to say when he calls.
It's a really unique piece. It's not an easy sell. You can't just find a buyer out the air. I've been asked to sell some things in my life, but you know, a diamond-encrusted drum kit, you know, it's not for everybody.
Hello?
Hello, is that Morton?
It is. Hi, Patrick.
Right, how's things?
Not bad. I'm just doing a little trek here.
Right, OK, well...
a bit of news anyway.
OK. I said to you at the time, you know, it's not going to be an easy sell.
Yeah. That definitely has been the case. I mean, I've spent a lot of
time and done some research.
You've gone through it all.
Yeah.
And I know you were looking for a figure of...
100,000 on it.
Yeah.
Although it's unique...
It's even harder to find a buyer.
For it, if you think in one way, because it is so unique.
Right.
It's not like there's 10 of them out there.
There's only one of them in the world, really. So,
This morning, we had some
emails in and we had an agent approach us this morning who's actually come in with a bid for it.
OK. Wow.
Basically, you were looking for 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, that's what the bid is.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Patrick, you're the man.
Am I?
Wow.
Oh, you impressed?
You're the best in the business.
I wouldn't say
I'm the best.
I'm pretty good at selling things like...
Unique.
Wow. That's incredible.
You're such a dude.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're pleased.
And what I'll do is I'll give you a call later
With all the details and we'll get it moving.
OK, brilliant.
All right?
Thanks a lot, Patrick.
Thanks a lot, Morton. Good talking to you.
And I'll talk soon.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
He smashed it. Get on it.
He's a lovely guy. He was a real pleasure to meet. And no, I'm really pleased for him,
The future's looking a little bit more sparkly. Or slightly less, maybe. The future looking great. I can set up the music company, we can get on with stuff, it's amazing. We saw the drums! We've got it!
Prestige are a pawnbrokers with a difference.
Wow-wee.
You've got in excess of £300,000. Supercars, jewellery, watches, fine wines, art, almost anything of value. If it's expensive, we want it.
And in affluent Surrey,
Sparkles, wow.
asset-rich clients are everywhere.
It's fairly bling, isn't it?
If it glitters,
Probably worth more than my house.
if it roars, there's money to be made.
This sort of thing could be worth £250,000.
This time,
He's motoring along now.
tricky decisions,
It is difficult when you're dealing with mates because you don't want to disappoint them.
unusual items,
I've never seen a rat with a ruby in his bum.
and there are high stakes for some.
That's not going to work.
I'm scared in case they say no.
Welcome to the world of posh pawn. Pawnbrokers have been operating for 4,000 years, since the ancient Greeks.
Oh my lord.
I'm thinking of selling or pawning this ring.
Oh, that's what we like to hear. Pawnbroking is very easy. It's the second oldest profession. Do you know what sort of money you're looking for?
Thousands.
Bring in an asset, we value it, and we lend you a percentage of the value. It's that easy. Bloody Nora.
Pawn shops are now more popular than ever, but this is a store that's doing things differently.
You're looking for 1.75 million.
Set up 5 years ago, the pawn shop is the creation of businessman James Constantino.
There's pawnbrokers popping up all over the country, but what's different about Prestige is we're doing high-end loans against luxury items.
James leads a team of specialist pawnbrokers who can arrange deals on anything and everything.
Have a look at that.
From high-end jewellery to luxury yachts.
This is what it's all about.
Oh my word, what?
Each member of the team have their specialist areas.
This is like a Ferrari for watches.
I promise you, it's not me.
Joe is my PA and operations manager, and if there's anything needs fixing, Joe sorts it out.
You could have been a little bit less selfish if you had to work on anything.
More bags for Patrick?
Patrick doesn't like being referred to as the bagman, but basically that's what he is.
Wow, that's a piece, isn't it?
But Lawrence is a bit of an institution, and he loves history.
So, what do you think of that?
I think you look bloody ridiculous in that.
And boss James's forte
Oh, I'm loving that.
is dealing with luxury cars.
Hello, Prestige.
Clients looking to sell or get a loan against their belongings either bring them in
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Got some jewellery for me?
Sorry?
or call or email ahead.
This is quite interesting, J-Mo. We'll have to get it bring it in to have a look at that.
Today, James has received an email inquiry about one of his favourite passions, vintage cars.
A 1968 Jag's coming. That's beautiful, look at that. I can just imagine me sitting in there, you bring me out a cup of tea, some sandwiches in the back.
Can't I just be at the front with a nice little bag?
These classic Jags are quite saleable if they're in really good order and they've got good provenance and good history. This one certainly looks great in the pictures, but it's going to be down to the inspection to see exactly what restoration work's been done and at what levels. Beautiful, isn't it?
It is lovely looking, I have to say, yeah. Really nice, yeah, I do.
So, Kane, if you just do the bush.
The owner of the Jag is Tracy, single mum to 2 children, Maya and Kane.
Maya's just a lovely little girl that just loves to play. And my son, he's great. And he looks after Maya.
There you are, Maya.
Look how much I'm sweet now. Isn't that amazing?
Tracy used to manage her husband's health practice that treated patients from all over the world.
Dealt with anything from depression to spinal cord injury and brain injury. When people were told that they would never walk again and suddenly they're moving their limbs and they're able to stand up again, that's a bit of a revelation.
But 4 years ago, life changed immeasurably for Tracy and her family.
My husband passed away in 2010, very suddenly. He had a heart attack at home. He literally fell out of the chair. My son was there as well, and we called the ambulance 999, but I knew he was already gone.
In the middle of dealing with her grief, Tracy had to close their business.
I had lost everything. I'd lost my home, I'd lost my business, I'd lost my husband. What was to become of me?
making a fresh start, Tracy moved to be close to her family.
We couldn't stay in the house after everything had happened. OK, hot chocolates with marshmallows.
Thank you.
I felt like I needed to ground myself again. Oh, you got the pictures out.
4 years on, Tracy has managed to rebuild her life and now has plans to buy a dream home in Croatia.
The plan for the house is to renovate it and then I'll use it as a holiday home.
I like that church.
So pretty, isn't it? And where the house is, you can hear the church bells. It's about 200 metres from the sea. It's just beautiful, it's got character. I see what it can be like and I think it can be lovely.
In order to pay the £10,000 deposit for the house, Tracy wants to sell her late husband's Jaguar Mark II.
We've had it for 15 years and it was my husband's pride and joy, really, because my son grew up with the car. We decided not to let it go after he passed away.
The family have fond memories of the Jag, especially those involving son Kane.
He'd have a little steering wheel next to my husband. It was so cute. And they'd both be driving in the Jaguar.
After much soul-searching, Tracy has decided that the time is right to say goodbye to the car.
I'm going to have to sell the beloved Jaguar, which is a bit of a wrench, but it has to be done.
The pawn shop are having the car picked up so they can assess and value it.
Oh, I think they might be here. Are we ready for this, guys? Hello, nice to meet you.
Collect your Jaguar Mark.
We've kept it for sentimental reasons. It's OK. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. What can we do?
And we have to move on, so it's time to sell the car. It's the last chance to say goodbye. Oh, bless you.
Although of sentimental value to Tracy, will James be able to share her passion for the Jag and offer her the money she desperately needs? The pawn shop has 2 sites in Weybridge and Richmond.
Good afternoon, Prestige.
And with business booming, James is now moving the headquarters to Hatton Garden, in the heart of London's famous jewellery quarter.
We're close to the city, close to the West End, and there's a lot of high-end assets here, and we think the store's going to do really well.
Jo is going through CVs as she and James are on the hunt for specialist pawnbrokers.
Already made 1 interview for tomorrow. I've spoken to a second.
But finding new employees who can deal with the broad range of items the company looks at is no easy task.
It's really difficult to get people to come in here and say, look, Thursday, I want you going down and have a look at this helicopter that's landing down at Fair Oaks. I mean, it's a ridiculous thing to ask someone. We want to get the right people on board with the right skills.
Oh, God.
As well as hiring new staff, Jo's overseeing the build and shop fitting of the new store.
All this crap is not meant to be here because I've got desks arriving. I didn't realise all this stuff was in here.
Having to split her time between the sites, Jo is really feeling the pressure.
That can't be left like that. It's a disaster. While trying to get this shop open and to have everything in place, order stationery, to have counters fitted, deal with the trades, and I'm still trying to do my normal job. Yeah, but what about all this metal?
There's a lot of pressures with opening a new store. We spent an absolute fortune in kitting it out.
It's crap.
We must recoup some of that money.
I expected the whole of this floor to be clear. The deadline to the opening is looming. It is really stressful and very exhausting.
The majority of customers are pawning their items for the very first time.
Yeah, nice watch.
But James does have some regular clients.
How are you?
I've been speaking to James.
And this latest inquiry is from a close friend.
Have you seen this?
No.
Boats coming. It's incredible. It looks like an amazing thing, doesn't it?
What does he want to do? Loan against it, then?
He wants the loan, yeah. It's based out in Spain. We're going to take it out to sea.
Wait a minute. When are you going to go?
Tomorrow.
Well, I hope he's serious, not a blooming time waster.
Well, it's Mark. He's a regular. He's a client of ours, so I'm sure he will be serious. And it's a lovely looking thing, and it could be a big one.
I'm taking in about 20,000 deliveries on my own tomorrow, interviewing about 5 people. That is not convenient to the business.
I'll give you my passport if you can put the flights up.
You book your own flight. Anyone if it was your PA the way you carry on. And I'm not happy about it, so I'm not booking it and making it any easier for you.
Drawing James's attention away from the new store is this 18-metre 9-berth yacht. It's owned by his friend and client, businessman Mark.
I'm an entrepreneur. I have no education. I don't have any GCSEs or A-levels. Oh, hi, sweetheart. That looks refreshing. Is that for me?
That's for you, darling.
I have 3 boats over here, a few houses, and a number of cars. And this is what I enjoy. Money brings contentment.
Mark moved his life to southern Spain 4 years ago.
I probably am living a very nice dream, but I do work very hard over here.
Mark has built up a transport business and is now branching out, looking to charter his luxury yachts.
Recently, I have bought a boat, which I have spent quite a lot of money in doing it up. That needs washing off. Obviously, the carpenters have been...
Once finished, Mark is convinced the luxury yacht will attract very wealthy customers.
Tickets, please. The boat which I'm going to be chartering can charge £6,000 a week, and I have the next 3 months from November booked up fully. Over here, could we just squirt where they've painted? Because I want this right for James tomorrow. Yep. I need a short-term loan for a period of probably 2 months. I'm hoping that James will lend me up to £100,000.
Mark needs £30,000 to finish upgrading the yacht and £70,000 for his transport company.
I need to buy some new lorries.
It's a lot of money. So can he persuade his friend James he's good for it?
Let's see if this engine starts.
This is probably the poshest pawn shop in Britain.
I don't live that lifestyle anymore, sadly.
Came in today's post.
It's from an Earl.
Oh, she's probably your new best friend.
An Earl is a man, actually.
Huh?
Jesus. How much are you looking for?
Every week, hundreds of clients approach James and his team looking for loans against an array of high-end goods.
The Gucci bag.
And they never know what could be coming through their door next.
They're all gold coins.
87 million.
87,690,000.
It's lunchtime in Weybridge, and watch expert JMO's manning the front desk.
Hi there. Hello. How can I
We've
help?
just got a couple of bits of statues that we wanted to show you. Some black coral.
Statues? How big are they? Well, they're in your car? Oh, they're in there?
Yeah.
To be honest, like this, they grow, they take about 4,000 years to grow.
What are they then?
Black coral. One is a
Oh, no,
female.
hang on, I'll come to you. The coral?
The black coral is a man's...
Unusual, isn't it?
A man's torso and a female.
Well, he's quite fit, isn't he?
I wish I had that female figure.
So natural form of black coral.
Black coral.
And that's off the Caribbean, Cuba. The Caribbean
Of the
islands.
Cuban OK. When Anita and her husband popped in and they produced the coral, I was like, I've never seen anything like that before. They're quite something, aren't they?
They're an
Very
inheritance.
special.
So my husband inherited them from great-great-grandfather, and he carved them himself, so...
You want to sell them or loan against them or
We want
something?
to get a valuation,
Yes.
because we'd raise some money, and then we take it forward from there.
OK.
We were told they're very expensive and rare.
Fine. All right, and you've got a figure in mind you want to sort of raise against the pieces? You know, if you...
$500,000. No, no. We don't really need
Hang on, I
the
might have to sit down if you want that much.
We've been told that it was valued at about $5,000 per inch.
This is quite an unusual inquiry. This is not something we tend to take in every day. We'll start talking to our experts and then we'll take it from there.
That's brilliant.
In Kent, Anita and her husband Henry are hoping this family heirloom will be the answer to their prayers.
Yeah, but it's all right. It's lettuce and cabbage, which you normally have.
Living in a one-bedroom house is tough for the family.
We actually sleep on mattresses upstairs in the living room. We each have one each. And then we just bring them down here at the end of the day, in the mornings, so that we can keep it tidy, because it says it's our living, sleeping space upstairs. I don't want to be in this situation, and I think our son deserves better, and we feel as parents that we want to give him better. So that's the whole idea with the coral, and hopefully that will open some doors for us.
You can get that for only 15,000.
That space.
That space.
And the beach is there.
And the beach is there.
Anita and Henry are hoping to use the money from the coral to start a new life in Cuba.
God, ideally we'd love for £50,000, £60,000 and we can move on and just do everything that we decided, and our dreams will come true.
This is a beautiful home.
50,000 in Cuba, you're a millionaire. So, but, you know, realistically, we're looking at the minimum of 5 to 10. The dream home is a nice 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, detached in the Caribbean.
Relax and enjoy the life.
Yeah. Just have to wait and see.
James and his team are used to dealing with unusual items, but the black coral statues are causing a real stir.
I've personally never dealt with anything like this before. We've got 2 pieces of coral, and you can see this is like a mermaid kind of style.
Coral. Things people do when they get bored.
Yeah.
We're certainly not experts in everything we see, and sometimes something comes in that stumps us, and that was certainly the case with the coral.
For every inch of coral, it could be worth £5,000. You can work out the maths there.
It doesn't do anything for me. I can't get it. Well, £5 an inch, what's all that about? The only thing that interests me is the interest that I would get.
Whilst Anita and Henry are looking to pawn their treasured coral, this Jaguar Mark II is up for sale. After the premature death of her husband 4 years ago, single mum Tracy's now hoping to sell his beloved car in an effort to move on with her life.
This is like the crossroads that I've reached now. I need the money for a down payment for a house that I want in Croatia. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get the money to be able to do what I need to do. And I'm scared in case they say no.
When I first heard of Tracy's story and what she'd been through of recent years, I really, really did feel for her. And I was absolutely hoping and praying that that Jaguar would be worth the 10 grand she needed.
But James can't allow emotion to cloud his judgment, so has taken Tracy's car to be independently valued.
Yeah, I'm really excited. They're a pretty iconic vehicle. We've got an expert in what he doesn't know about Jags isn't worth knowing. His client's looking for 10 grand, and let's see just how much this car's worth. Robert, how are you?
Hi, James. Nice to see you.
And you, mate. And you. What do you think, then?
I like the car. It's got a lot of points in its favour, and somebody has loved it dearly. And it's a very visually appealing car, or at least it could be. However, frankly, it's been a little neglected in recent times.
Yeah, that would fit with what the client told me, because I think it's been stood for about 3 years.
OK. The main thing, actually, is the chrome work. Whoever chromed these bumpers did a particularly poor job. I would probably just take these off and have them re-chromed. You've got a little bit of micro-blistering, which is caused when the car was painted, there was a little bit of dampness.
Yeah. In terms of its desirability, is it a goer, or should I steer clear?
It's actually a very relatively unusual car, because this was produced in the last year of production. A year before they finished, Jaguar cut back on the quality of the cars, but in the enthusiast market, the later cars actually drive better, and you know the appeal for Mark II Jaguars is very, very strong.
OK, well, that gives me some sort of indication. I shall get back to the client and relay the news to her. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming to see me today. Cheers. Thanks.
OK, bye.
It's a good, solid, sound vehicle, just needs a bit of TLC, and I'm hoping that we can present the client with a good enough figure to get a deal done.
But will his enthusiasm translate into enough cash for Tracy's dream holiday cottage? Cars may be James's favourite items to deal with, but they're not the most lucrative part of the business.
Jewellery for us is bread and butter. We see it every day.
Oh, bloody hell. That'll sell well, that one.
Hi, how can I help?
I've got some jewellery here that my mother left when she passed away.
Oh, we can assess that for you, yeah.
We tend to get diamonds, gold, emeralds, but occasionally we get some really unusual items.
Over at the Richmond branch, watch and jewellery expert Monica has received an email about a very unusual pendant.
It's a rat by Cartier. Yeah, that looks definitely like sapphires. I think it's a ruby in his palm, but we've seen a rat with a ruby in his palm. It looks nice if you want to have a gold rat. It was bought and commissioned from Cartier. I mean, would you buy a rat? Would you?
The current owner of the Golden Rat is hopeless romantic 56-year-old Joe.
All right.
Peace. From Barnsley in Yorkshire. The apple of her eye is Eddie.
My partner, Eddie, means the world to me and always has from day one of meeting him.
The story of how Joe came by the Golden Rat started when she first set eyes on artificiado Eddie.
That's in France.
All those buildings, he'll have gone out and painted them.
Eddie owned these paintings by 20th century artist Sir William Russell Flint, most of which feature his famous muse, the beautiful Cecilia Green, who owned the Golden Rat pendant.
I wanted to impress him, and I thought, what better way than get in touch with his favourite model in the picture. And more than a reply, I got a telephone call telling me how excited Cecilia was to receive a letter.
Joe and Cecilia went on to become firm friends.
Cecilia, she was like a second mum to me.
Sadly, Cecilia died in 2003 at the age of 72. To Joe's surprise, she left a small token of her affection in her will.
This is where I keep it, in my knicker drawer. And here he is. The ruby up his bottom is so Cecilia, and I wish you were here now for her to tell me more about it. That's the one upsetting part, that I can't ask the questions that I want to ask.
Joe now wants to sell the pendant to raise funds for another romantic gesture.
As nice as this. We thought eternity rings would do what they say on the can, we would be eternally linked.
But can the Golden Rat play a role in Eddie and Joe's future?
I'd have to get £2,000 for it. We shared the friendship, we've shared the pleasure of the pictures. It just seems right and fitting to me that we share the rat.
Joe and Eddie have travelled down to Surrey to get the pendant valued.
Hello. Oh, the rat.
The rat.
It's finally time for Monica to see the rat up close.
Nice. When I first saw the golden rat pendant, I was like, what is this? Why would you have a golden rat from Cartier? Would you like to sell it or take a loan on it, or...?
I think we'd like to sell it because we've decided to get some eternity rings, haven't we?
What sort of money you were thinking?
It was £2,000. Yeah.
We'll find a good home for him. The main thing about the golden rat, it's made by Cartier, it's signed by Cartier. That always adds the value, otherwise it would be just a golden rat.
It will be really exciting to find out about it. So we'll just wait and see what Monica can find out for us, basically.
But even with provenance, will the rat have enough appeal to raise the money Joe and Eddie are looking for?
Would you wear it?
No.
Why not? Because it's a rat.
Is the millionaire county of Britain, the ideal setting for a pawnbroker's carving out a niche at the high end of the market.
Got a few watches from my footballing days.
Overall, you're looking at in excess of sort of £80,000 to £100,000.
But things are about to change for owner James. He's decided to branch out and open a new store in London's Hatton Garden. D-Day is fast approaching, but while the shop fitting is going reasonably well...
This is James, this is Francesco.
How you doing?
Hi, Francesco.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Recruiting extra staff is a different story.
Do you know much about what Prestige do? This company?
No, actually not a lot.
There's nothing worse than doing an interview with someone who doesn't understand pawnbroking and exactly what we require in terms of their knowledge of jewellery, watches and gold.
We're after a manager and an assistant manager at Hatton Garden that would have knowledge on jewellery, diamonds, gemstones.
I don't really like jewellery.
He really dislikes anybody that has a lack of interest and has very little knowledge.
Thanks very much. See you later.
With 4 new members of staff needed, operations manager Jo has decided a blitz is necessary and has her battle plan worked out.
What I was going to ask the basics first. You can then ask what you want.
Yeah, because I've only got that.
Well, I thought as much.
Despite the urgency, Jo's still keen to take the time to find out what makes each candidate tick.
And what makes you really happy?
My friends, my family.
What does stress you out?
My mum.
Excellent. That's a very good one. James and I are completely different when it comes to interviews. I want to make sure they fit in with the team and that they're an overall good person. James just wants to know that they're going to make him money.
If someone brought in to you a diamond ring, how would you know the market trade value or the a retail value?
I think with diamonds in particular, I can make a guess that's pretty accurate.
After carrying out some of the interviews, I found out that just how difficult it was to find really good staff, and I really realised just how lucky I was with the people I had on board.
I'm not like, oh my God, we really need that person, yet.
James's current staff are all experienced pawnbrokers.
It's been hallmarked 1904.
But some of the valuables that come into the shop will always need a specialist evaluation.
Absolute pure Art Deco.
For JMO, the black coral figures are just such an item. Owners Anita and Henry are hoping their family heirloom will fund a move to Cuba.
They're wanting a loan of up to about £5,000 to £10,000, but they believe that the coral, it could be worth £40,000. The question marks are really who can pin down the value and how can we clarify that before we can offer a loan, because we don't want to get stung. Good morning. Hi, I'm
JMO's taking the statues to auctioneer Alex.
They're quite unusual.
Do you think they are coral?
You can actually look at the structure of it and the veins through it, so you can see that it's a natural substance. It's not something you see so much of. You see a lot of the white coral and, of course, the red coral. It doesn't mature until over 50 years, so obviously a large piece like that could be many hundreds of years old.
Yes. So being organic, should there be some sort of certificate with it or some sort of certificate?
It is governed under the CITES regulations. You can sell it and you can export it with a licence. So it's governed, but not so heavily as, for example, ivory.
Is there any idea of value, do you think? You know, because it is rare, I guess, in some ways.
It appears to be very rare.
Yeah.
I've not seen anything like this, I must admit, in this sort of very sort of naturalistic state. So mostly it's very highly polished and very smooth outline. So it is slightly unusual in that aspect.
Our customers believe that it could be as much as £5,000 an inch.
They are slightly more unusual. They're more unusually carved. So they may be worth a lot more, but that, of course, is the $60 million question.
With alarm bells ringing, JMO heads back to the office.
I wasn't aware that coral is quite strictly governed, and you do need certain certificates and licences.
Over at Richmond, Monica has been struggling to find any provenance for Joe and Eddie's rat pendant.
How many people can call Cartier at 2:30?
But keen to pin down a value, she's visiting jewellery expert and Cartier collector, Matt.
Hi, Matt. How are you? I came to show you something. I would like to know what your thoughts are about it.
It's a rat.
It's a Cartier rat, but it's a rat.
It looks like it's 18 carat. You've got rubies in a collar and also sapphires in its eyes.
Yeah, check his bum.
I did see that.
It's unusual, isn't it? It doesn't have any hallmark, so...
So it obviously wasn't made in England. It's nice and heavy. So, yeah, there's value there in just its metal weight alone. Would it sell to the right person? I think it would. It is definitely a unique piece, you know. You're not going to see a
no,
rat
I've never seen, I mean, so many years, and I've never seen a rat. A Cartier rat. Thanks for having.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
Good luck.
Bye.
From Surrey to sunny Spain.
Yeah, I'm here.
Boss James is making a flying visit to see his client and friend Mark, who is looking to raise £100,000 against the value of his yacht.
You've got to be careful when you get close to clients or you're on a friendly basis with them. It can be a little bit tricky because you want to do your best for them, but you don't want it to be a favour. I really want to play it by the book and present him with the right figure as if he was just another punter. Thank you.
Howdy, James.
Mark, how are you?
Very well. Welcome aboard.
Oh, very nice, very nice. You're all right.
Nice to see you. See you nice.
You all right? You by yourself out here?
I am.
For a minute there, I thought this little one down here was yours. I was my bottom started twitching a little bit. When I first saw the boat, I was really impressed. I had no idea it was going to be that big. It was a huge monster of a thing.
Let me show you around.
Is this like a work in progress? Are you doing it at the moment?
It is work in progress. That's why I need some money to complete it.
I noticed, like, you've gone out and bought some new chairs straight away, haven't you?
I bought them for you.
Did you?
No. Let's go down to my bedroom.
I had a guided tour of the boat, and generally it was sound. There were 1 and 2 signs of wear and tear, especially in the toilet. Just needs a good clean-up.
We've just cleaned it yesterday.
Did it? Well, it needs another good clean-up. Well, it's pleasantly surprising down there, really, in terms of its space.
I think you can manage getting up these stairs OK, can't you?
So this is where it all goes on, is it?
It is, yes. Where shall we go? Barbados?
Brixton's quite nice. OK. Just a little half-a-mile jaunt would be quite nice. I don't want to go too far.
OK, fine.
What are you actually looking for in terms of capital?
I need £100,000. £70,000 for my logistic company, and then I need the extra £25,000 to £30,000 to finish off this boat.
100 grand's a lot of money, but look, we're going to get the thing fired up and let's get it out there, shall we?
Absolutely.
I can't wait, Captain.
Captain Pugwash to you. I got it.
You're looking good, Mark. You've done this before, mate.
I used to drive tanks.
Watch those jet skis there.
What jet skis?
No, don't. You're scaring me. It's motoring now.
We
Mind if I have a little... Mind your hat. Now that we're on the open seas, mate, you can really get a feel for it. I mean, it feels very smooth, doesn't it? I mean,
it is. We could be out at sea ourselves, if you wanted to, for the next 3 weeks without any problems. Would you like to have that?
I'd have a few problems if I was out at sea with you for 3 weeks, I think.
I'm worried about myself, actually.
I'd go stir crazy.
Yes.
By the time I'd got out onto the open seas, we'd had a few drinks and I'd forgotten that we were actually going there to do some business. I thought it was a bit of a jolly.
Let's sing a song.
She's motoring along now, isn't she?
She is, and the sun is now breaking out on us.
This is what it's all about.
It is.
I'll tell you what, if I weren't so busy at work, I'd spend half a year here, I think, with you, Mark, floating around in this.
It's a nice life, isn't it?
Lovely day, get out with your friends.
I wish I had a friend.
Well, you got me.
Yes, I am pretty desperate.
Well, Mark, I really enjoyed that. That was bloody brilliant.
I enjoyed it as well. At least we didn't sink.
No, we didn't sink. Obviously, mechanically, it seems fine.
Absolutely.
I've had a good look round with you, and we know the issues that you want to sort out anyway. But I need to go back to London now and do some sums.
Brilliant. I look forward to hearing from you.
Cheers, mate. Good to see you.
All the best.
Cheers. Bye. This is not an easy one to sort out by any stretch of the imagination. 100 grand is a lot of money. It is a lot of boat, but it needs a lot of work. So we really need to get our figures right in the respect to the value of that boat before we can release funds.
Crunching figures is all important for the pawn shop, whether the loan is for £100 or 100,000.
Agree and find a figure for it. I can give you a loan today or tomorrow or something.
After some extra research on the black coral statues, Jamo's been doing his sums and is now ready to talk to Anita and Henry.
I'm just about to call Anita. There is a couple of questions that need to be answered.
Either it could change our lives completely or the bubble can burst and we have to start again. So it's like, we don't know. You tidied your room?
From 2 o'clock in the morning, no sleep.
Anita and her husband, they're a fantastic couple. Hopefully we'll get some positive news from her.
It's all kind of building up, your stomach's churning and you've got butterflies and, you know, no, this could change everything or maybe not. Here we go. Hello?
Oh, hi, is that Anita?
Speaking.
Hi Anita, it's Jamo at Prestige.
Hiya.
Hi, how are you?
Oh gosh, we're just waiting for your call, a bit nervous.
Well, there's a couple of questions that I just need to ask you in regards to the coral. Was it something that came to you via Cuba, or was it something that was already in the country?
Henry got it from his great-grandfather from Cuba. Because we live here, it was taken as an ornament.
One critical aspect is the potential CITES. I'm not sure if it's something you're aware of. CITES is a bit like a passport for authenticity of the item. Is it something you have?
No, because we acquired it obviously through inheritance. It was never something we've looked into.
You don't have any documents by the sounds of it?
No, there's no document.
Prior to documentation and stuff.
Bearing all that in mind, the sort of figures that I've been advised upon with the CITES, you're looking at Unfortunately, sort of figures of around £1,000 to £1,500. Not sure how you feel about that news.
It is very disappointing for us.
I think it would be worth one day sort of looking into the CITES for
No,
you.
but at least we know now, and know we now if we can get the documentation and the paperwork for it.
But it's lovely to speak to you. I'm sorry for the negative news. They're here safe for you. I mean, obviously at your convenience when you want to pop in to collect them. Take care, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's all right.
Oh well.
That's all right.
It's just that it's not the end of the world. We just have to.
Keep positive and carry on.
Yeah.
And do other things.
It's one of the hardest things that we all have to sort of deal with, is to tell our customer some sort of news on the potential value, and perhaps it not being what they hoped it to be.
But we had the value that's a lot higher. But if it had the paperwork that we need, which we didn't know we had to get, would have a bit more of a value. So it's important we get the paperwork for it.
As soon as we knew that the commercial value, let alone the loanability value, was going to be lower than what they expected, it's always going to be something, you're going to be banging your head against the wall. It's a real toughie.
With the London shop launch looming, it's been a busy and stressful month for the pawn shop.
We are so busy.
And we're taking the flak for it.
Can I just ask you to hold one sec?
And after spending 2 days interviewing candidates to work in the new store in Hatton Garden, James and Joe have drawn up a shortlist.
Cara.
Lee, Charmy and Mark.
And have come up with a simple and easy to remember system for choosing their favourites.
We'll put a no for now next to him.
All
yeah?
right.
What do you think about Lee?
So Lee is my first choice, and I think she's going to be a grafter. Trying to come to a decision on who we were going to hire was an absolute nightmare.
Ross is a no.
Ross, I can't give up on him yet. I'm telling you, he would be a good prestige person. We were deliberating for far too long.
Ross's experience.
What if he was working with someone like Lee? How would you feel then? That's getting... Are you for real? This is not the way you do things. This is ridiculous.
We know where we are. We ain't got enough pointy down mouths. Listen, Ross is going to have to point down.
You're basing it on how many downward-facing mouths are on the graph. All right. We kind of did end up meeting in the middle, but it really took a long time.
By tomorrow morning, we need to phone some of these candidates and get them on board, because we need them to give their notices in.
Oh, my God, so much. I need them training yet last week.
Oh, my God, I know.
Having carried out extensive research into the provenance of the golden rat, Monica is about to call Joe.
Do you fancy a cup of tea?
Please, 2 tea bags.
Big day today when I'll finally get to know about my beloved rat. I would hope for 4,000. I think if it were any less, I might be disappointed. The main thing is that we get an eternity ring. That was the whole idea.
She's such a sweet lady, and the whole story is really nice.
Hello?
Hi, is that Joe?
It is.
Hello, it's Monica calling from Prestige. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. I'm nervous.
Me too. How much you were looking for?
Well, if it's only 2,000, I'm just prepared to keep hold of it. But if it was 4, that would be wonderful. Anything more than that is just a bonus.
I don't have great news. It's nothing close to what you were looking for.
Ah, right.
It's not even £1,000. On its own came to like £500.
Really?
I'm so sorry to giving you bad news. I will definitely let you know all the information from Cartier. It's just a question of time.
Well, thank you for all your help.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Oh, this is not even worth 1,000. So we'll just have it back, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not quite sure how I would have felt letting it go, if I'm really honest. Cecilia always wore it, but she did have a wicked sense of humour. So maybe I should always wear it.
Well, why not?
Well, because it does scratch my cleavage, if I'm honest.
Joe and Eddie can see that keeping their friend's pendant is for the best. But for Tracy, holding on to her late husband's Jag really isn't an option.
We're here to see James.
She has come to the Weybridge shop, hoping the Mark II Jaguar gets her the £10,000 she needs to put a deposit down on their dream holiday home.
Tracy, how are you?
I'm good, nice to meet you.
Come in, and you. Squeeze in there if you can.
We will.
Basically, we've had a look at the car, and there are a lot of positives with it. It's obviously been cared for at some point, and it's had quite a bit of restoration, I would imagine, over the years. It's a good colour to have one in. That particular blue is very desirable, considering it's been sitting around. It's in good order. But there are some negatives with it. You would need to rechrome the bumpers, do some of the paintwork, maybe not the entire car, but both sides of the car would need painting. And I think it would just need some general tidying. I understand you want to sell, don't you?
Ideally, I'd like to sell it. I mean, I can't keep hold of it anymore in the garage.
It was really difficult when I was sitting opposite Tracy and she had her 2 children with her. I knew exactly what was going through their minds, and I knew that they were probably thinking of their father when we were talking about his car. I mean, if you wanted to get those bits and pieces done, we would be happy to return you the £10,000.
How much is that kind of?
At least a couple of grand probably on it, maybe 2.5. So, the offer's there and it's really up to you.
What do you reckon, guys?
We do need some.
The fact that you've offered me 10,000 is amazing, because that's what I need. The fact that you want me to do stuff to it isn't so amazing, because I don't have the money to do that with, because the 10 grand's going straight off. So I don't know the best option to take, to be honest. Is it possible to get 10 and then sell it at 7 and I give you back the 3?
That's not going to work. From a loan point of view, we will lend you a percentage of the value.
And what would you give me as a loan?
We could give you 5.
You could give me 5?
Yeah, I would give you 5 for it.
I don't know what the best option is. I could take 5 for now. You keep hold of the car and I find a buyer and we can take it from there, maybe?
Definitely.
Is that an option?
That's an option.
Can we do that then?
We can do that, Tracy.
James, you're my saviour.
Oh, well, I'm glad it's turned out positive in the end.
Yeah, I think that works, no?
OK, Tracy. Thanks for coming. Cheers, kids. Thanks for coming in. Hope it wasn't too bad a journey for you. To have them sitting there, and they're all hoping for this 10 grand figure, and you could see the pain, and I could feel it coming across the table, and it wasn't the most enjoyable experience, I must admit, that I've had. I did breathe a sigh of relief when she left and took the offer, because she seemed to sort of cheer up a little bit.
I've been offered 5, which is halfway to what I need. I'll do a car boot sale. I'll do something. I don't know, I'll find a way. I'll find a way of doing it. Croatian dream is still alive. We'll do it. It's going to happen.
Back in the UK, in his Surrey home, Mark is waiting to hear whether his friend is going to lend him £100,000 against the value of his luxury yacht.
Luke, could you possibly help me and take some of these in for me, please? Cheers, mate.
This has been a tough task for James, who doesn't want to let his friendship get in the way of good business.
It is difficult when you're dealing with mates because, you don't want to disappoint them. And unfortunately, we can't bend the rules or, do any special favours. It is about the asset. And if the value's not in the asset, we won't be able to do the loan. I could be lumbered with a boat that I potentially may have to put to sale. So I don't want to overlend and find that I lose money in another 7 months' time.
There is quite a lot riding on this, because I have actually just ordered 3 vans, and I'm hoping that James will lend me the money. If not, I have to use Plan B. My Plan B is that I'll go and rob a bank.
I think we're in a position now to put a number to Mark and hope and pray that we haven't missed anything. I think we've got it all covered. Mark, hi, it's James here from Prestige. How are you?
I'm very well, James. Very nice to hear from you. How are you?
I'm good. You all right?
Yes, I'm back in the UK in the cold, etc.
When did you get in?
I arrived about 2 hours ago.
Well, look, we've been doing some figures and we've been back and consulting our experts. Well, I think generally, I mean, you've done the back-breaking stuff and we've seen all the paperwork to substantiate that.
James, please get to the point, please.
Well, look, Mark, I'm happy to present you with an offer of 100 grand.
Whoa! Thank you. Right, I can change this crap wine to champagne now.
Yeah, you're gonna pop open a bottle of champagne, are you?
I am going to open a bottle of champagne. Thank you.
It was really great talking to Mark and being able to tell him that he'd actually got the money he required.
Thank you very much indeed. Can you email me all the contracts and I will sign them whilst I'm in the UK?
I'll get it all over to you, mate. It's been a pleasure. I hope it all goes well for you. But and maybe we can meet up for a drink later if you're about.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you so much for that, James. I really feel relieved. Thank you.
No problem, mate. I'll send it all over. Cheers. Thanks. Bye.
Sarah, Luke, Ella.
Where are you?
Got some great news.
Okay.
Just had the call from James.
Yes.
And he's prepared to lend us the £100,000 to help the business. Hey!
I'm really happy that we've managed to seal this deal and get the deal closed, and he's over the moon. I'm happy. We've got another loan out for 100 grand. It's a big one for us, and it's just another fine day at the office.
Cheers, everyone. I'm really pleased, and thank you, James, for handing us the money.
Cheers, cheers. Well done.
Thank you.
Sometimes you come across clients that really, really need the money. You just can't help them. And other times you come across people that don't need the money so much. And unfortunately, but you are able to do a deal. But it's not always fair, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles.